Good evening, folks. Let's see how it goes this time. I have no idea. My PC is spiking like mad. I don't know what happened. I'll show you exactly what happened actually, because I took a picture to send to Dave, and there you go. That was what I got. The blue screen of death. That was what I got. So it looks like we're all right. We'll see how it's going. Dave's seen he in touch and shit. I don't know whether Skype was kind of, it seemed to be peaking a little bit in the background. Now I've done it before with Skype, because obviously me and Krabby managed to do it before. Since then I've kind of I'd reset my PC. I don't know if it's that. I've done a full reset as well, so we'll see how it goes. Let me just check what the sound's like and stuff. I don't know why the sound's quiet tonight. I don't know what's going on with my microphone. It seems a bit quieter than normal. So let me know if the sound's okay. I'll try. Possible saying, how much did I miss of round 2? You haven't missed anything yet, mate. I am literally just getting started. And I'm messing around with my settings in the background here as well. Oh, that's why, because it reset the gain down a little bit. So I'll move the gain a little bit. Let me know if that's any better. That seems to be bouncing around the right levels now. Everybody else looking okay. If anybody wants to share the new link in the Facebook group for me, that will be a pleasure as well. I should probably go and hide the other one so nobody goes and watches that rubbish. We'll go across to this one. That one seems to be okay as well. So we're all right. We're back on now. James is saying the sound's much better. Thank you very much. First of all, I want to apologise to Dead Earth Games. I've been streaming for about 2.5, nearly 3 years now. That's the first time I've had a full-on crash. Yeah, let me show you my phone so folks. So that's what I got. That was the view that I showed to Dave. Your PC ran into a problem and needs to restart. I have no idea what happened there. But hey, we'll try again. I imagine we're not going to get the same kind of numbers we normally do. A fresh install of Windows. I did one not too long ago, mate, to actually speed everything up and make it and improve it. And it's been running sweet as a nut. Who knows what it is? The Doors of Nurgle rot. Yeah, first time it's done it. So we'll have to we'll play it by ear. We'll see what's occurring, as they say, and we'll crack on. We'll try and do some paint. Yeah, it's kind of threw me a bit, that, mate. Threw me. So I wonder. I can't stream it under the same name. So yes, Pirate Game. Let's get on with that anyway. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do before, so I don't spill any drinks. I don't spill my water. I'm going to zoom out a little bit, and I will show you this awesomeness that is Pirates of the Dread Sea. Yes, so that's obviously the white pages. The artwork in this book is absolutely beautiful. So we've got nice. Actually, let me move some things around, and let's do a proper job of it. Eh? So you get to see the full layout now. Yes, so. Yes, so the pirate, nice little pirate map in there. There's so it's a hardback book as well, really nice. You can see some of the artwork that's in there as well. Tells you a little bit about, we've got like pirate dwarves, there's pirate elves, we've got pirate orcs. There is the undead. We've got goblins and trolls. We've got Dead Sea trolls, which are there's like rat men. Is it Scryer? I think it is. And then it says other creatures. And one thing that you can see here, the artwork is very, very nice. Dead Earth Games, thank you very much, mate, for coming back. Yeah, tech problems tonight. I don't know what happened. Hopefully we'll get sorted. But yeah, so there's information here telling you how to build your crews, your character cards, how to create them yourself. What I would say is from character cards point of view, it's pretty much open. You can just kind of create the character that you want. But yeah, I'm not going to go into too much detail about the book. Suffice to say, artwork is beautiful. As you can see, full colour. The rules are pretty straightforward. There's some nice little mechanics in it. But what I'll do is I'll get onto this kind of stuff when I do the review and a bit of gameplay and stuff. But what I would say is that there are some sort of pre-made characters at the back for you if you want to just dive straight in. But yeah, beautiful, nice hardback book there. Let's get back in and get some paint on some minis, eh? Let's start as we mean to go on. So first of all, apologies to Dave for kicking him off the stream. I have no idea what was happening there, but right, we're gonna paint some loveliness. I'll let you decide. Are we going to paint? Are we going to paint our female pirate captain, or are we going to paint our skeleton pirate? You lots choose. First one I get 5 votes for, that's the one we'll paint tonight. So we're going to paint the, let's say, pirate or skelly. Which one we're going to have? You lot choose. Captain, skeleton, undead pirate, female captain, undead. I think we've got a bit of a mixture too. I tell you what, let's do the both of them tonight. We'll start with the skeleton and we'll mix between the two as we're waiting for things to dry. All right. Yes, Joachim, I'm back online. Thank you very much, folks. 40 people, that's not too bad. I'm sure people don't even know I'm streaming now, so that's not too bad for a start. Thank you very much, anybody that shared the message as well. I think the beer is more than justified now this time. So, colour-wise, what should we do with this one? I think what we'll do is, I think we'll start with a bit of, I think what we should do, I'm probably going to be dry brushing, I think, across the kind of the skeleton bone. So I think we should probably start with the bone colours, I think. Yeah, I think we should start with the bone colour. And let's dive straight. In fact, I'm just going to dive straight in and I'm going to dry brush a bit of white onto it. Phil says, decided to come on late and you just restarted. Yes, mate. The tech gremlins were playing up something rotten this evening, so we're gonna crack on now, mate, and try and make the most of it. Try not to let it rattle me. I was kind of like a bit, oh, what the hell is going on? So right, let me just let me zoom into this a little bit more so we get a nice. You guys can see it there as well. And I am literally going to come straight in, and I'm just going to kind of dry brush really lightly across the top of the bones here and onto the skull. I'm just keeping it super simple just to show that it's not all about fancy techniques. All I did with these was prime them black, Zenithal Ghost Grey, Vallejo Ghost Grey from above, just to give me a bit of a good prime. And all I'm doing here is I am using Rack White, which is a dry paint, and I'm just really lightly just dry brushing across them bones. Because what I find with skeleton bones is if you pretty much just do them white and use a Nuln Oil wash, they get a really nice look to them. Rather than being kind of creamy, the Nuln Oil just gives a nice, I like kind of that skeleton bone white and black. It really does kind of set it off. So we're doing it super simple tonight. Let's have a look. Whiskey Tango was saying parrot. Different cases. You got the ninja style brush holder. Oh yeah, for the brushes there, mate. It came with the brushes when I got them. When I got those Artis Opus brushes, it came with them. So yes, it's like my samurai sword rack. So we're just going to go in. Anyway, folks, I didn't really greet you properly tonight. How is everybody? First of all, can we all give a nice warm welcome to Dead Earth Games? Thank you very much. First of all, thank you to Ortega as well, who gave Dead Earth Games a bit of a nudge in my direction and said send some to Andy. He'll have a look at them. So thank you very much to Ortega. Thank you to Dead Earth Games, who've not only sent these on so we can have a look at them and get some paint on them, and also do a review and a bit of a playthrough, but also just for coming and hanging out tonight as well. So yeah, it's cool to get some. It's cool to get some stuff on the channel as well. Like, I mean, it's all well and good. We get a bit of 40k and stuff like that, and all the big stuff. But there's a lot of games out there that that people have spent a lot of time and put passion into them, and it's nice to get them on the channel as well. So as you can see, I'm being super careful here. I am literally just dry brushing in and get them nice and white. So Matt Mountain says, oh, you might see on the screen, Matt Mountain's just made a donation. Let's see if all my new donation stuff's working. It should do, because I spent time trying to fix it today. Maybe that's what's ballsed all this kind of stuff up. Let's see what happens. For some reason, we've got 2 on now. Let me see. I'm going to get rid of that one. There you go. We'll get in fact, yeah, we'll get rid of that one at the bottom. No, we'll get rid of the one. Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. The tech gremlin's going mad tonight, folks. Right. So that's a bit of white on there. I think we're gonna. If I get my water back as well, we'll. Thank you very much as well for answering any questions in there. Peter Cooman says you should have done the dancing, Andy. I think at some point I will do, mate. I think I will do. I'll. Why am I shaking a dry paint? It's proper. Throw me that tonight. Knock me off my normal course. So I think what we'll do is we'll get a bit of the. Is it? Yeah, we'll get the Gore Grunter fur, I think, and we'll get some leather on the boots. And let's get a decent brush. Krabby saying, not going to lie, mate, this is my favourite stream ever so far. Do you know what it is, mate? You just got to roll with the punches, as they say, haven't you? You just got to... When life gives you lemons, as they say. Yes. Oops, let's get that on the screen as well. That will be a good start. So we're coming in with a contrast paint here just to get some colour on the boots. Trying to be as careful as we can so we don't get it on the skeleton bone for the legs. So, folks, what's everybody up to tonight? What are you all painting? What are you interested in when it comes to this Pirates of the Dread Sea as well? Have you got any questions about that while we're in tonight? We've got the man who designed the game is with us tonight as well, which is awesome. So if you've got any questions, he is certainly the right person to answer them. But yeah, what I would say, folks, is quality-wise, the minis are really, really sharp sculpts. I was really kind of like impressed with them. There's a couple of quite sort of small joints on them. So this one particularly, I think basically from the wrist there joins into the arm of the coat, and there's not a lot of space to pin it or anything like that. But I just used a little bit of the Vallejo putty and super glue, and it seems pretty solid there anyway. Actually, I think what I'm going to do, I'm just going to switch this across to my paint holder. Talking of paint holders, I got my notification yesterday, or it might have been Sunday even, to say that my Redgrass Games holders have been shipped out. So I was hoping to have them for tonight, but wasn't to be. Starky's paint is Dark Imperium. Rich, thank you very much, Rich. I thought it was, but I didn't want to assume. You never know. Thank you, Rich. Yeah, Starky's paint is Dark Imperium, just like 3 years after the event, pretty much like I did as well. Tim Cully saying Larry blows. James Arm, no painting yet. He's got to get out of work. He's heading to the shop to pick up Operation Colstrom because they finally got it in. Nice, mate. A bit of infinity on your painting table soon, then, eh? That's not too shabby. Lovely minis to paint, mate, as well. You'll enjoy those. Standard tabletop, you lucky bugger. Not heard about mine yet. Got the wet palette coming too. Yeah, I saw an email from them tonight, basically just saying that. Depending upon when you filled in your pledge manager, how soon you did. Plus, I think they're shipping them in batches to different countries and stuff. I think they're getting mine in one of the first waves, I think, which is quite nice. Normally, when it comes to Kickstarter, I have a history of being pretty much last on the list. So I wasn't holding my breath on this one. But yeah, seems to mine shipped. So when it gets here, we'll have a look at those. So that's a little bit coming soon. Matt's got Abyssals on the table tonight. VJ says no painting, he's checking from his favourite spot in bed. I will cut you some slack for that, mate, bearing in mind that it's probably about 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning for you. So yeah, I'll definitely cut you some slack, mate. Parzival's painting his desert rats for bolt action. He's got the urge to paint something non-World War II. What is it you're fancying painting then, mate? What's tickling your fancy at the minute? Oh, I think we'll go with the same brown for his hat as well, and we'll do that as well. As you know, folks, I'm kind of all about shortcuts, getting things done quickly, making it look good enough. So I'm using the contrast paints here to get some basic colour down fast. And then we'll probably, once this is all dry, we'll get in and we'll dry brush it as well and just bring it up. I find that the contrast paints are really nice from a colour of the pigment. You get loads of colour on them quickly, and it's nice and thin as well. You haven't got to worry about sort of going on too thick. But they do look a little bit kind of shiny. That would be what I would say. And a dry brush over the top once they're dry really does tone it down nicely. So that's looking decent enough. We'll get that one done. Lee Russ said literally just had his shipping notification for his handle tonight as well. Yeah, thank you to you, Lee. If it wasn't for you, mate, I'd have forgot all about it. So thank you for tipping me the nudge, mate. I'll also put this over to live chat because I'm probably missing out on stuff. Apologies if I haven't seen your comments, folks. Blizzard has painted his Frostfang cavalry today. Likes the idea of ratty pirates in the game. Yes, mate. They definitely look pretty cool from that fluff picture there, wasn't it? The artwork's nice. Vincent said he's using Rita Bone's Undead Guardian Archers. Their mould lines are brutal. What I would say with these, folks, speaking of mould lines there, what was that? There pretty much wasn't anything really. Let me just get that zoomed. I mean, I think there was obviously you can see where these being metal cast that, like, sort of single piece minis are always kind of a bit more flat in one direction, if you like. So as you can see, that would be roughly where, down the side would be where you would have the mould line. And you know what I'm like with mould lines. I don't really mess about with them. I kind of ran a blade down the side very gently, but there was nothing really to kind of to speak home about. Let's have a look. Was there anything else, anywhere else I can kind of show you? I'll show you on the one I'm painting now. Again, down the side, right across the hat and stuff, absolutely nothing. You might be able to see a really fine line down the arm there where I probably haven't filed it off, but the fact that you can't really see it and I'm having to try and point it out just kind of shows you that. Right, what colour are we going to do his coat? I think we need to get a bit of colour into it. So I think we'll do a red coat, folks. We'll get it a bit brighter. So we'll come in with the contrast blood red angels, blood angels red rather. We'll get that one in. Malkavian, we've talked there. VGA says, cheers, Captain Dead. I look forward to Andy's gameplay video and review. Yeah, I tend to like to sort of like not rush into it, if you like. I like to kind of paint the minis, give you a full impression about what I think, what are the minis like, sort of play through the game a few times so I make sure I've got the rules right in my head and stuff. Now things are easing a little bit in the UK as well. My older sons are starting to come back over and stay overnight and stuff. So they're finished college now for the summer too. So I might even have an opponent in the house to play through with me. So you don't have to put up with me doing it as a single player through. Krabby saying benefits of being a YouTube celeb. I can't remember what we're talking about now, mate. Benefits of what? Yeah, they're saying, yeah, it needs some reviews as there's no shows going on. To be fair, it's a really, really fair point. I mean, one of the big ways that kind of companies, especially newer companies, can get in front of as many gamers as they can, is things like Salute and you know, the wargaming shows touring around the UK. And even if you can only kind of get a demo to 20 or 30 people in a day or whatever, at least that's 20 or 30 people who's given your game a try, and they've given it a go, and if they've enjoyed it, they'll go and tell other people about us through the powers of social media. So getting out to conventions and getting your game in front of people is really important. And at the moment, obviously, that's not only are things not in a position where we can start to have conventions, but even when things start to get a little bit nearer normal, conventions are not going to be the same as they were for a while. So yeah, getting things onto YouTube, getting things on social media, getting videos out, let people see how it plays, get the minis in people's hands. It really is a great idea at the minute. I mean, if that kind of stuff didn't work, you wouldn't get GW sending out all their Indomitors boxes, would you, to people? They would just sell them. So yeah, it's all part of building that kind of stuff up. So yeah, thanks very much again, Rich. It's nice to kind of get my hands on something, to give it a once over and give my opinion. It's even nicer when they come in they're really, really nice stuff. So yeah, Rich is also giving me a 10% discount code as well off the store today. I don't know whether Rich mentioned it when it was when the stream was playing Funny Buggers, but I'll give you that later on as well. It's on my phone. I think it's BlackJack 10, but I'll confirm it, or Rich may be able to confirm it while I'm painting this bit. But yeah, so that'll get you 10% off in the Dead Earth Games web store. So if you are liking the look of these, even if you don't want to play the game, but you just want to paint up some nice pirate minis, there's some real nice stuff in there. And I would also say as well, if you do like them, you know, just like support these kind of startup companies and that as well, because now more than ever, I think they need your support. So so we're getting a bit of colour on there. I'm liking that red. We're obviously going to highlight this up a little bit as well once this is dry, but it's not a bad start. So folks, how are you all? How's your day been? I hope it's been better than the start of my evening. Looks like we got about 66 people in the chat. That's not too bad then, considering it was almost a write-off tonight. We managed to pull it back. Maybe it's time to start saving up to replace my PC. Yeah. I've just put some new RAM in it not too long ago, and that's been working fine. But I think the CPU might need an upgrade, I think. Mark's not painting tonight. Hasn't been home from work that long. Nice to see you, mate. Anyway, I didn't know that, VG. I didn't know it didn't support tagging. Parsival's got some Concord Infinity for Gates of Antares. I know very little about Gates of Antares. I'll be perfectly honest. I know it's Warlord Games, and I know it's kind of based around the bolt action rules, but I know very little about the actual game itself. So maybe that's one to check out in the future. But yeah, my plate's getting quite full at the minute with a few bits and pieces of stuff that's coming and things I've got on the table. Things like this Pirate of the Dread Seas. And I've got some other bits and pieces coming as well, and I'll show you them when they arrive. VJ said looking forward to his Redgrass Games handle so we can compare it to the GW one. What I would say, mate, is I find the GW one that little bit too big. I haven't got particularly small hands. It's just that I just don't find it very comfortable. It's a bit big for my hands, I think, and I love how you can just kind of. So I've just got my finger on there, but you know, I'm just spinning it as I'm painting. It's just really comfy, mate. So yeah, hopefully you like them too. We'll get a little bit more red just inside his coat there. You might not be able to see that on the stream, but I'm just painting in between the bony legs there. Getting a bit of red into there, the shadows. It's not bad. Go for a start there. Right, and we'll get some on the sword. Dead Earth Games says, have to give massive credit to Griffin Moulds in Birmingham, whose expertise makes sure the minis come out as we would want them. Real experts in terms of reducing the mold lines. It makes a big difference, mate, doesn't it? When they know what they're doing. Yeah, it shows. To be fair, mate, I can see why you went with those now. They really are nice, and they've come out well. Peter says, what happened to MS Paint? To be honest, mate, what I'd said to him was, I need to try and restart it without. I'm going to restart it. I'll try streaming without Skype running in the background and see what it does. Everything seems pretty stable now. I don't know whether Skype was just playing up or what, because you could see that his screen was jumping around all over the place trying to keep resizing itself. So I'll need to do a bit more digging into it. It's worked in the past fine, but I don't know why it decided not to work today. So right, we're going to get. We need a grey contrast if I can get my hands on it. Not the Space Wolves one. This is the one, Griff Charger. So metallics, I quite like to use this, which is the contrast Griff Charger Grey. So we'll get some of that on. VG is saying, is there a free digital primer or anything? Assuming it has a mini line, or is it mini agnostic? I mean, there is a miniature line, mate. Which I would suggest if you like them, you should definitely pick some up and support. But the way the rules are written as well, you can create your own character, or certainly you can give them their own stats as well. Whilst there is some pre-generated ones, you feel free to kind of, if you've got a particular mini that you like and you want to run them in your little pirate gang, by all means you can as well. So feel free. But I quickly showed the rule book there at the start. If you're a fan of kind of just like nice looking rule books, as I know a lot of you are, it's definitely worth picking up. But we'll get to that when we do the full review and stuff. But yeah, starting to come together. These things paint themselves. When you've got that kind of level of detail on them, you really can just kind of crack through them. Right, I'm going to let that dry for a bit, and we'll come back and do a bit of dry brushing on that once it's dried off, and we'll come on to our female pirate captain. Because this has got some nice opportunities for putting a bit of colour on something that you don't always get too often. So I've just got to give it a bit of thought now. I think what I'll do is I'll start with the face, and I'm gonna put real paint on, folks. Good morning to JVC Paints. How are you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Ravnos says that figure looks fantastic. Yeah, they're really nice, mate. If you head over to deadearthgames.co.uk or .com, I'm sure you'll find out yourself if you have a quick look. You'll be able to buy them, and in fact, let me dig out that code as well while I'm whoops, get on the right one. Let me dig out the code for you as well. So if you do go over and check them out, and you find you want to pick one up for yourself, yeah, BlackJack 10, capital B for BlackJack, and with number 10, no spaces. Yeah. So head over there and check them out. And if you like what you see, pick one up. Tony's saying he's tempted to go for the dwarfs. They'll loom fab. I may end up making them look more black sails, but love the minis. Yeah, that's the beauty, mate, isn't it? You paint them up to your style, basically, however you want. And I know you're a big painter. You're a big fan of just buying beautiful minis just to paint. And there's nothing wrong with that, mate. You'll certainly enjoy painting these. So I just In fact, that's a bit light. Let's get a darker skin tone in first. There we go. Let's have a look. Palmsy saying the minis look really good. Yes, mate. VJ says sounds cool. Peter says he mentioned Indomitors. Dereth Games says he's bumped it up to a 15% off code. Waiting 15. Thank you very much. I didn't realise that. You're a gentleman. Thank you. So yes, folks, never mind my BlackJack 10. Yes, waiting 15 will get you 15% off. Very, very, very kind. Where are we at? That's just. It's jumping around. There's too much chat. I can't keep up with you a lot. Tony said, I love our small indie companies. What's not to love about pirates? Yeah. Yeah, I think MS Paints there must have been asking, Dave was asking about, yeah, they come with a kind of like metal tab on the bottom, like slot of bases. I've just put them straight onto there for speed, mate. But yeah, if you want to put them onto some nicer bases, you certainly could do, mate. There's plenty of kind of purchase on the feet and stuff like that to pin them and things. So come in there, just darken down the skin tone on the face there a little bit, and we'll come back and highlight it up once that's. I've kind of, you know, when you sometimes watch stuff on YouTube and you go down a bit of a rabbit hole. I've been watching like comic book artists and sort of artists who basically kind of like, I guess they're comic book artists mainly because most of the stuff I've been watching has been kind of like superhero drawings and stuff. But they've been drawing stuff and then inking them, basically colouring them with you know, the kind of paint pens, or well, they're like alcohol pens basically, but they've got like a brush tip to them. I've been watching kind of that kind of stuff the last couple of days, and I'm absolutely fascinated with watching those painting videos. But interestingly, the reason I'm talking about this is because the way they do it, they will start with a light base coat, like a light base colour, and then they will darken down into the recesses and kind of like sort of layer up into the shadow and stuff. Which is actually like, it's completely opposite to the way I would paint. I would obviously start with a darker colour and then paint over the top and lighten up to highlight, really. And it was just interesting watching somebody from an artistic point of view, just doing it in a bit of a different way. But yeah, I can see me picking up some fancy markers and some nice colouring books, just as a bit of a way to kind of to chill away from this. Now I'm doing this full time, just to have something a little bit more just chilled and relaxing to do. I can see me picking up some paint, those markers for that. Yeah, used to enjoy a bit of art when I was at school and stuff, and I did my exams and stuff in graphic design, and so who knows, maybe a nice little additional hobby in the background. Not to the point I'm showing it off on a live stream, that's for sure. But yeah, Lee saying those. Where was that one? Was that flying past? Right, let's have a look. Where are we up to? Yeah. David Moffat said his evening was rough. His daughter had trouble sleeping. Decided to live stream earlier today and went smashing the door. I'm glad one of us went smashing the, mate. I'm glad that was the case. Krabby saying, I'll come and play some games through with you, pal. Just give me a shout. Thank you very much, Krabby. I think we're starting to get to a point now, aren't we, where it's kind of we can start to actually get some games in now, I think. So. There are games there saying that they think the discount code is working now, try to fix it. So yeah, fingers crossed, folks, if that's the case. Red Wars Wargaming, evening. So is it a skirmish game? What size board does it play on? And yeah, I've just been answered there. So 3x3 is the kind of the size. But to be fair, if you want to play smaller, I'm sure it'll work just as well. What I haven't shown you, and what I probably won't show you in the review, just through lack of stuff that I own, is that ships can play a part in this game as well. And playing next to like if you have your board, your mat, your table with water on it as well, there are some rules there that sometimes if you get a bit close to the water, there might be an octopus drags you in, or a kraken or something like that. But yeah, there's some like rules for boats as well. So there's quite a lot of stuff that's covered in the game. And like I say, I'll probably mention it on the review, but I won't be able to demonstrate it. I don't think. We'll have to see what happens. But the game basically plays by essentially rolling for doing your kind of your combat and defense type stuff. Rolling 2d6 and having to get over a certain number, adding those two numbers together. So say I need 6+ to hit you. I roll a 2 dice and I get 10. That means I've succeeded. However, that 10 is 4 better than the 6 that I needed. So that actually benefits you when you come into to see if you wound. And that's 4 that you can add on to your wound roll already. So passing your target number with a good roll is actually beneficial. It's not just kind of like, oh, well, you were over it, well done kind of thing. Yeah, Elysian Skype is a massive resource hog from my experience. It worked okay when I did the stream with Krabby, so I'd kind of, that was the only time I've used it, and it seemed to work fine. I don't know what it is, it seemed to really spike. I mean, my CPU was kind of like topping out at like 90, 96, 97%. At the minute, it's running at like 55, so I don't know what the hell was going on with it. But yeah, we'll have to come to that one. We'll come to that one. I've also, I don't know whether it was been doing bits of updates in the background as well, which probably didn't help. But yeah, I need to get a better way of getting other people onto the stream at the same time. I'm just kind of like looking at colours and stuff, folks, about how I want to do this. I think we'll give her some black boots. I think she looks like she'd have black boots. So I think I'll do those. We'll do them with a contrast. Actually, no, we won't. We'll do them with a contrast black. There's a black Templar, and then we can always dry brush it up with a bit of grey and put a bit of stuff into it. VGC and Skype's garbage. Too much bloat. Yeah. So basically, the way it works is Skype comes with the kind of when you install Windows, because obviously it's owned by Microsoft now. But the way it works when you put it in through OBS is you need to put it through as an NDI source, and you have to uninstall the Skype that comes with Windows and then reinstall Skype for Windows. Otherwise, it doesn't work. And yeah, for whatever reason, it decided to. It was fine before I started streaming. It was fine when I was setting it up today, when I was doing it as a test. It was fine when me and Dave first connected up at like sort of 8:15, ready to go. And as soon as it started streaming, it just kind of it basically shit a brick and stopped. So yeah, I'll have to understand if is there something else running in the background that's causing it to freak out, or is it just that Skype doesn't like OBS? So we'll come to it. However, the other side of it is now I can start to kind of get people around and stuff. We'll be able to get real live people on the stream. Yeah, so that'll be fun. Like I say, my oldest boys are coming to stay next week as well. So I think they're coming over on Tuesday. So if they're still here on Wednesday, I might even see if I don't think Adam's the slightest bit interested, to be fair. But some might come on the painting stream, just kind of hang out and have a chat. So we'll see how that. Oh, let me just. I've got a bit of sand on the back of our leg here. Just need something to get that off with. Use my nail, I think. Yeah, can it be played on a smaller board? Yeah, it certainly can, Anna. To be honest, I mean, like from a demo point of view, with 5 models each, I potentially might play it on a smaller board, really, just to kind of make it easier to get on camera. Because to be fair, once you all start to come together to fight it out, you're fighting on a smaller area anyway, so potentially you might end up sort of just making it a bit of a faster game, sort of get turn 1 down if you like, or something like that. So we'll see. Well, I've not played it yet. I've read through the rules a couple of times just to get my head around them. Seem relatively straightforward. I don't really have any issues with them. So yeah, we'll see when we get there. Arnold said he's just bought the Undead Crew. Nice one, mate. Yeah, the Undead Crew is very nice. I don't know whether you saw them, Arnold, before, but I'll show you some of them now. Let me just close that lid a second so I don't knock it over. So for the Undead Crew, you have the Necromancer, basically, who is she's got a little voodoo doll there and a sacrificial dagger, and she's basically bringing back the undead. So the undead play slightly different to like a human crew, because once they're dead, they can be brought back to life. They can be resurrected. Points wise, she's obviously a bit more expensive than a standard model because she's bringing stuff back. But yeah, it's a really nice miniature. Then we've got this little fellow here, another pirate with his flintlock pistol there as well. And he's is it a cutlass? Is that a right word? I forget what it is now. Another cutlass is a hook, isn't it? What's the word I'm thinking of for a sword? Anyway, yeah. So that's the little the undead pirate guy. Just show you some of the detail around the face there as well, and around the chest. Really nice. I mean, what you won't be able to see there with because it's black inside, but there is actually kind of like a spine that comes down the back there as well. We've got this one here, and again, like because it's, you might be able to see if I come a bit closer. Can't really see because it's like black inside at the minute with the shadow, but yeah, there is actually some insides in there as well. And that's the one of the undead pirates. And then we've got this fellow here as well, with a pistol on his and a holster on his belt there as well. They're just really nicely sculpted, and like the way the material hangs down on the legs. Obviously, there's no flesh inside there, so you would have a lot of kind of loose material. It gives some really nice opportunities to get some nice kind of highlight and shading in them as well. King Matt the Superior just subscribed. Thank you very much, King Matt. And then some of the human ones as well. So we have this guy here with his peg leg and his crutch as well there as well. Doesn't stop him fighting over his sword and his pistol there. Nice kind of military style coat there as well, with a pistol across the chest. Really nice. We also have one here with a bit of a shotgun. She's actually wearing an eye patch as well. I don't know if I'll be able to get that detail enough on the camera there, but you can see she's got her eye patch on there as well. It's like some nice details on the face. Nice long hair there as well. We have, I think this one's called Mad Annie, I think, if you go with the pre-generated rules. She's got a, I think it is a cutlass, isn't it? Yeah, and then it's with a pistol as well. Knife between her teeth. And you can see again there as well the sculpt on the face. So, yeah, there's some really nice minis there. Have I missed any? Oh, I missed this one out as well. I haven't shown you this one. Another guy again with a pistol across his chest. A couple of swords. Yeah, really, really, really nice. Ryan Jackson says, evening all. Says anything like that Across the Dead Earth, I think it is. Yeah, that's the other game as well, isn't it? VJ saying, hoping the code will still be valid once we get Andy's review and gameplay. I'm sure we can sort something out, mate. I'm sure we can sort something. Dead Earth Games there saying there's a scenario in the book which takes place in a single building. A smaller playing area might make the game shorter and bloodier, but that's no problem. Yeah, shorter and bloodier when you're making a video is actually not necessarily a bad thing, is it? Right. Colours wise, what should I do colours wise? I think we might go with like We want to go with blues. The parrot's going to be red, I think. So it's something that's not too contrasting with the red. I'll tell you what. Let's get her some blonde hair in there. We'll get that started. In fact, I don't think I've used yellow contrast before. Let's put that in for the hair and see how it goes. We can always paint over top of it, can't we? Alan's away at his mum's caravan, living the high life. Let's have a look. Tony's saying it'd be lovely to see an Andy Jr. on board. I'll tell you what, mate. He's done a couple of videos with me in the past. To be fair, I think he did the Vanguard video, and he's done a Walking Dead playthrough with me in the past as well. He's beat me every time as well. I think. In fact, I might have beat him on the Walking Dead video, but he's not that interested in painting so much. But he's just got one of those brains that works out games really quickly and goes, oh yeah, so if I do this, I do this, and I do this, then basically that's me won, is it? And you go, oh yeah, that will be. So yeah, he's got a pretty fast brain when it comes to that kind of stuff. Must take after his mother, because he certainly doesn't get it from me. So yeah, we'll see. Even if he just wants to come and hang out and have a chat, be nice to have some time with him as well when I'm doing a bit of work. So yeah, so they're coming over next week, which I'm looking forward to. He's working this weekend. Oh, come on, focus. That's it. Yeah, Cutlass Saber. Yeah, everybody tell me what the right name is. The Saber is longer. Yeah. As you can tell, I've not. I've watched Pirates of the Caribbean. Speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean, we'll come on to that in a second. But yeah, I've watched. I do like the Pirates of the Caribbean films, and I guess this is kind of like this is almost that on the tabletop, isn't it? So that's not too bad. Speaking of Pirates of the Caribbean films, did you see? It's been in the news this week about Johnny Depp and his court case, and apparently he was very embarrassed to say so. But from Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3, just happened to make about $650 million from it. I mean, the downside was that his management team had stolen $750 million from him, which he didn't realise either. So, but you can't have it all, I guess. Yes, $650 million he made making a couple of films. I guess we're in the wrong business, folks. Right, colours wise, what am I going to do? When you're in a bit of a what shall I do colours wise? I want to try and keep that top quite light, I think. So maybe we go with, let's go with a kind of like a blue on the trousers, I think. I've got a nice light blue here. I think we'll go with the yeah, we'll go with this athematic blue, I think. Barry Kleiber, hello mate. He's saying really nice looking minis. Yeah, they're pretty good, man. There. Robert's here as well. Hello mate, how are you doing? His Vanguard Dwarf Starter and Firefly game arrived. Oh, you got plenty on in the next few weeks then, mate. Nice. It's a knock gun. Oh, not a shotgun. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's the one. I'd read that in the rules, but I didn't know what a knock gun was. Now I know. Essentially, they're not very accurate, but they're pretty deadly. So I think they hit multiple things, don't they? Like anything within so many inches. Thank you very much. Keep me right, mate. Keep me right. Keep on with this one, so we'll get a bit of colour into this, I think. We can always dry brush it up a little bit as well. Deb's just in as well. Good evening, Deb. How are you doing? VJ says it will be the first time working with metal minis in a while. To be honest, mate, there's not really any working to do with them. Because there's very little in the way of cleanup. Well, there certainly was on the ones that I got. And kind of put them on their base and you're ready to go. Prime them up like you would do with plastic. There's nothing to worry about. There's something quite nice actually about the weight of a metal miniature. It's just like, there's just something that's kind of missing when you've played with plastic or resin for so long, and then you get a hold of a metal mini. Just the weight of it as you're moving it around, something quite nice. Anyway, looking pretty good. I think what we'll do is we'll keep her top white, I think. But I think we'll, over these kind of puffs on the shoulders, I think we'll use the same blue. And we'll tie it in that way. And we'll do that. Making sure not to get the parrot's feet there. Paul Jones is saying he built the Pirates of the Caribbean model ship from Revel. It only took 9 months. Oh my God, mate. I've got the X-Wing, you know, the D'Agostini kind of part build kits. I've had that coming for quite some time. And I think that's like over 100 sort of issues to build it. And I'm intentionally not touching it. It's going in a box in the garage, and when it's all there, then I'll sit and build it, kind of thing. And I'll probably video it and do a bit of a time lapse stuff. But it's basically a Star Wars X-Wing. I forget what scale it is now, but it looks pretty cool. It's got electronics and stuff in it as well. So, but yeah, I think I'm probably still about I must be still about 6 months off that finishing though. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to kind of building that kind of stuff. I've not really built any like models other than like miniature stuff. I've not built any models in ages. VJ says he'd love to earn 650 million, but I don't think I could do what Johnny Depp does. I don't know, mate. Given the opportunity, given the opportunity. Right, I think we're going to give her a black hat as well, because I think the black hat will go with the black boots. Lord Maiden says, no way in the right business. Might not bring that amount of money, but makes a lot more people happier in the long run. Yeah, there is that, mate, to be fair. Although, to be fair, Johnny Depp's pretty good with, like, doesn't he do a lot of stuff where he basically dresses up as Jack Sparrow and kind of goes to kids' hospitals and care homes and stuff like that? I think he's quite he brings a bit of joy to people as well, to be fair. But yeah, I mean, obviously I know that actors get paid a lot of money. Like, I ain't kidding myself, kind of thing. But it was the fact that he only found out that he'd earned that amount of money when he changed his management team, and his new management team told him that he'd earned that, but that his old management team had stolen it from him. It must be nice when you didn't realise you had 650 million, and then you realise not only do you now not have it, but you're 100 million in debt. Yeah, I can imagine that was a bad day when he found that out. I know how I feel if I buy a lottery ticket for a couple of quid and I don't win. So yeah, I can imagine he was a little bit on the upset side. All right, just taking it really easy here because I don't really want to get any of this black onto the parrot, which is actually absolutely finely detailed. Let me just see if I can get this nice and close on the camera here. I don't know if I'll zoom that close. You might not be able to see that there, but there's feathers like sculpted down the side of those tiny wings and stuff, and there's actually feet. You can actually see feet on our shoulder as well. It's not like they're just kind of plonked on there. It's really nice. That bit. I'll tell you what, I'm going to try and brighten that up a little bit, I think. He's very That's a bit better, isn't it? Brighten that up a touch. I think I forgot to put the main lights on above me. That's why. I normally put them ones on. Oops. Pausing the cat broken in 6 minutes. Wow. Vijay saying, believe me, when I get to draw of metal minis back in the day, 99% of his collection was all GW white metal. Yeah. Matt saying, metal models still my favourite type. I went through a phase where I hated metal models. I think what it was, I got so used to kind of just like scraping mold lines off plastic and just clipping them off and gluing them together and not sticking my fingers together with super glue and all that kind of stuff. I think I just got used to them, but yeah, there's something, I must be getting old. There's something about them when you start using them again, and it's just really nice. Right, I'm going to try something, folks, here, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get the orange contrast paint. I'll put it here, and I'm going to get the red contrast paint, and I'm going to get the yellow contrast paint, and I'm going to kind of blend them together on the palette. Now, this red one always closes itself, so, but we're going to start with the red anyway. So a little bit of water just to thin it. And you have to work relatively quick on this, but if I go around the top here, the top of the wings, wash that out, get a little bit of the orange, and just blend the two together. Oh, it's focusing on the wrong stuff now, isn't it? Let me just move them out of the way. Blend them in a little bit, and then with a bit of yellow as well, and just finish them off. It might be too small to probably see it, but it just gives you a bit of variation, really. And then with a dry brush over the top, just kind of pulls it together. I think I'll go with the orange down the parrot's chest. Otherwise, with the yellow hair, I'll probably get lost. Just pull that in. Can't say I've ever painted anything this small before. Close them up before I spill them everywhere. Yeah, Peter's VJ St. Johnny does a bit of charity work there. Lord Maiden says, for me, I didn't. Oh, Dead of the Game said there, I know we make it, but I bloody love the parrot. It looks amazing, mate. It does look good. It looks excellent. It's the little things like that, just give that little bit of kind of character to this stuff. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll give her the black belt as well, I think. Just to kind of pull all of that together. Lord Maiden says, where are we up to? JVC says, what's everybody else playing along with? He's doing his IGA paratroopers. Nice, mate. Nice bit of paratrooper work there going on. Lord Maiden says, didn't really like the Malifaux metal models as they felt 2D. I think the Malifaux metal models, mate, were obviously way back in the day as well. And I think sort of, I think sculpting and sort of casting methods have improved over time. And now the stuff you can do just by like having like multi-part models and stuff, because things generally used to be pretty much sort of single piece. and the stuff you can do with multi-part models now, just to kind of to break away from that 2D plane, if you like. It's really interesting. I remember seeing like a sculpting thing. I think it was Steamforge when they were doing their plastics. When they were doing the kind of like the single piece plastics for Guild Ball. Seeing that basically when they were sitting with the manufacturers and stuff, they were learning, oh well, like this is possible that we never used to be able to do, and like if you can avoid this, it'll always come out better. And it's just interesting to see how technology's moved on. But I mean, just the quality of these, they're just, you know, I have to say I'm impressed with them. I'm impressed. Right, that's that bit done there. What else do I want to do? I think I'll let that dry off for a little bit now before I go in any further, and we'll go back to our pirate, our skeleton pirate. Sorry, put him at the back. Tiny War Games. Good evening, Tiny War Games. How are you doing? Nice to see you in. I'm going to have a drink of my beer. Tiny War Games saying that they designed a pirate map for this game. Yes, yes, you did. This is like a Skull Island from the drones. I remember. Yeah, I've seen. I think I've seen a picture of that one on the Facebook group. I think it was. Ortega says, I forgot because it was a new video. I need to hit the like button again. Yes, folks. 66 people in watching and only 25 likes. Shame on every single one of you. JVC says the 2D method was why Jez Goodwin's early 90s models all had the same pose. Yeah, they all kind of like stand like looking like that, don't they? Tiny War Games says, I like this camera setup. How do you do this? So, camera in front of me, over there, and then above my head. In fact, let me go. So, that's my main camera. DSLR, which goes into a capture card into my PC. And then above my head, up here, on an arm that goes across the top and then down to the bottom and counterweighted on the end so it doesn't fall over, is my top-down camera. So, and then I basically set it up so that when I'm just sitting with my elbows on the table, like this, that the camera's at the right angle so that when I'm painting, it just kind of picks up in the center. And then I can, because this one's a camcorder, it's got a zoom on it, I can zoom in and out to get it to the right place. So yeah, that's how that works. Lord Maiden says they are about, what, 12, 15 years old now, but yes, they've been great advances. Yeah, it's amazing how stuff's come on. Jacob says, I gave an early like to the original stream. Anybody that liked the original stream wants their head looking at. There was nothing to like the one that fell apart, mate, that's for sure. Right, so we're going to let's go with a bit of Necron Compound. We're going to dry brush the cutlass, as we've now established that's what it is. Guys, you're both losers. Nice one, Tim. Christian's just sharing the link to the Patreon there as well. Thank you very much, Christian. Yes, for those that we've got any new folks in tonight, the Patreon is what makes all of this possible. This is now my full-time job, making content and running the community and all of that kind of hobby goodness, making videos for a living. And it's all possible because of you awesome folks in the community that support me. So yeah, from as little as $2 a month, get you access to the private Discord chat, and then there's bonuses all the way through the different tiers as well. And essentially what it means is I don't, like some other channels, I don't take any payments for doing any video reviews or doing preview stuff or painting people's minis up or anything like that. And that way I can stay completely independent and give you my honest opinion. I'm not saying nice things because I'm worried that I won't get paid next time. Yeah, so that's that. Right, now we're going to We'll get a little bit of the red and dry brush the coat now. Tiny War Games says, I want a full-time job in war games. I tell you what, mate, it's not easy, especially at the moment, is it? With everything that's going on in the world. Jason says, coat's coming along nicely. Yeah, it's just, I mean, that's just contrast paint on it, mate, to be fair. So I'm just going to come in now and just really lightly just dry brush it. I could try and, you know, actually highlight it properly and stuff like that, but you know me. I'm all about cutting corners where I can, just showing that you don't have to be the greatest painter in the world just to get a good job, to get a good looking model out of it. So, and this just tends to take away. So if you've used contrast paints, like I mentioned before, I'll just take that at the base a bit more. If you've used contrast paints, they tend to be a little glossy at times, and a little shiny. So this just helps take it down a notch. That's the first coat of that one on. So that was Evil's Sun Scarlet. And then we'll come in with a Wild Rider Red. Do the same again. Krabby saying, I would love YouTube to enable photos to be posted in the chat. That would be awesome. Do you know what it is, mate? It actually crossed my mind tonight that would be awesome, because I was trying to show you all that I'd had that meltdown with my computer when I got the blue screen of death there, and I wanted to post it so you could see it, but obviously you can't do that. But to be fair, it might be safer, mate, especially on a live stream. The last thing I'd want is people bombing the live stream with sending nudes. I think YouTube might have a bit of a problem on their hands if that was the case. I think sometimes on some of the really kind of popular streams, I think it's bad enough when you've got sort of people trolling the comments and stuff like that. So thankfully, you lovely lot are not too bad. You're all right with that stuff. Right. Let's get a little bit more of that just to bring it up a little touch more. Just around the front here. Six in the head saying toughest business in the world. Do you know what it is, mate? It's like, I'm sure there's tough businesses out there, don't get me wrong, but it's the kind of market where, like, nobody comes into this to make money, if you like. I'm sure they want to make money, they want to make enough money to kind of to be able to make a go of it, but nobody comes into it as a business in the hobby market and thinks, oh, I could make an absolute killing there. Like, people do it because of the passion, and they do it because they love it. And that's why I would always suggest supporting kind of these kind of boutique hobby companies and new startups and stuff. If you like this stuff, support them, because if you don't support them, they won't be around to kind of give you the second editions and the later factions and all that kind of stuff. I mean, it's great that Kickstarter is there to kind of help out with that stuff now. But yeah, they need support. But yeah, and what happens is people plow their heart and soul into making stuff, and then what happens is that it's quite a competitive market, because there's a lot of people out there all wanting to do the same thing. Right, I need a bit of I need a kind of like a beigey colour, a bit of a lighter brown, I think. Can't see one. I know I've got one somewhere, but I can't put my hand on it. We'll have to go with a really light Shabbity bone, I think. Yeah, Krabby saying it would be good to see what others are painting. Yeah, I know what you mean, mate. I know what you mean. VJ saying, I think photos and links in the chat would violate a few things. Yeah, I don't disagree with that, mate. Special in as well. So huge thanks to the team for the code. Definitely swayed my buying finger. Glad to see you supporting, mate. It's great. Like what I've always said when I started taking this YouTube channel a bit more seriously, and the idea was, could I actually make it like a full-time thing? Could I get to a point where I can make a living out of it? like one of the things I can do slightly different to what other people do is not cover all the biggest stuff. Doesn't mean I don't play them. It doesn't mean I won't talk about them. But I don't have to kind of dedicate myself to trying to to rely upon like tens of thousands of views for every single video. And I've kind of carved a little niche out for myself, if you like. That is really, it's like, this is a community channel. And because of that, and because the support comes from the community, it means that we can paint and play games that if I was relying upon YouTube clicks all the time, it's really hard to do a review of a game that is brand new because nobody's heard of it, if you like. So therefore, nobody's searching for it. You don't do well on search. That makes no difference for me because I'm supporting a community, and the community here love to see all of the new stuff. They love to see what's out there. So one, for me, it makes it fantastic. I can enjoy what I do and play all the new games that I want to see and stuff myself. But then it also gives you lads and girls, it gives you an opportunity to actually see that stuff on YouTube. So it's win-win, folks. Right. And I think, trying to remember how I did the basis for Wild West Exodus. What colours did I start with? I think we started with a brown on the base and then highlighted it up from there. Because we'll try and get it kind of sandy. I think I've run out of, what's it called? I forget what it is now. That kind of like beigey sandy colour from GW. I think I've run out of that. That's why I can't put my hand on it now. Either that or have I left it on my desk? Oh, I know why. Excuse me. The Zandri dust, that's the one. It's because I put it in a drotter bottle. That's why. Where are we at? Tiny Wargames, I've done a lot of different jobs, but I love the wargame industry. Yeah, you can, if you enjoy, oh, I think I ran out of this. I think if you can enjoy it, then it's half the battle, isn't it? Doing something you love, get up every day and enjoy it, is a hugely different experience to getting up and going to a job that you dread going to. That's not going to be, I think that's pretty much run out. That we'll have to, let's improvise, folks. Let's improvise. I think what we'll do is we'll go with, I think we'll just go with like a brown base, and we'll just dry brush it up. We'll use some lighter colours. Lord Maiden says, no, it's great that you do this. Seeing UW all the time has put me off 9th edition. Yeah, it's kind of everywhere at the minute, isn't it? It's hard to avoid at the moment, and there's no reason to avoid it. I mean, it's a great game, and loads of people are enjoying it. But yeah, if that's not your bag at the minute, there's not a lot else in hobby groups at the moment. So yeah, kind of been avoiding it for a little while. Tony says, waves his fist ineffectively in the air. Come back, I'll do grumpy old man and tell you to play at your own end of the street. Oh, I tell you what, it's not until you come and do these hobby streams you realise I'm running out of paints. Can't remember the last time I ran out of paints. Never used to paint enough for that. I think I need to do a bulk order of a few bits and pieces and top some stuff up. So I'm just coming in. This is with Gawthor Brown, which is one of the GW browns that I absolutely love, actually. This and Rhinox Hide always go on really nice. But we're just using this as a base, really, and then we'll dry brush it up. Tony said, I used to do a job that I worked up to 20 hours a day because I loved it, though it never felt like work. Do you know what it is? Like, I've kind of briefly spoke about this before, but now I've been doing this for a couple of months now, starting to kind of get into it. I am now completely, officially away from my old job. My car's gone back now. My company car's gone back. My redundancy payment came out today. Like all that kind of stuff. I am officially 100% done. It's been weird because I kind of get up in the morning, like this morning, for example. I had a little bit of a lie in it this morning. My wife took the little one to nursery. So I got up this morning, kind of checked a few emails while I was still in bed. Got up, got showered, got ready. Before I thought, oh, what I'll do is I'll spray these, I'll prime these minis before I go and have breakfast. So put the airbrush on, sort of primed these black. Went downstairs, had a cup of coffee. While I was having my cup of coffee, the laptop went on, and I started creating the thumbnail for tonight's stream and stuff. And it's weird. It's like it's all the kind of stuff that I would just do anyway, but now it's the job kind of thing, and it's kind of weird. So what happens is it's hard to know when I'm working and when I'm just doing stuff because I love doing it. Like I've kind of like potted on all day today, doing bits and pieces, fixing sort of like what did I do today? Like my business bank account got like set up and the card came out today, so I've been like online doing that, and I got all my HMRC stuff for self assessments and all that kind of stuff. So I've had to log on and do that kind of bits and pieces. It's like there's something quite nice about doing it when you're doing it for yourself. I used to hate doing my expenses for work, like logging receipts and stuff. Don't actually mind it too much at the minute because it's doing it for myself. Where are we up to? Busey's in the New York 6 in the Head show was epic. I was just chatting to Palmsy about that today, mate. Dead Earth Games says, fantastic to have 60 plus viewers right now. If anyone wants to know anything about Pirates of the Dread Sea, go ahead and ask. I love talking about it. Yes, mate. Yes. To be honest, we normally have a few more in. I think the fact that I somehow managed to screw it up, so everybody will be clicking on the link and then getting the old video. We'll do that one. But yeah, it's not a bad crowd considering there was no kind of forewarning for this one really. The one that we actually got working. So yeah, and I think that's testament to the kind of the community around here. Really, they just love seeing new stuff, hearing about the things that's not necessarily kind of mainstream just yet. 6 in the Head's asking how many minis per side. Dead Earth Gaming saying it's not prescribed totally, but 5+ would be the norm. Yeah, so these little like sort of starter faction things. Each of these ones come with 5 minis in each side. Great place to start, but then obviously you can add to that and expand it. The way the game works, and I'm kind of, please tell me if I'm wrong, Rich, is that basically you can build your own sort of stat card if you like. You choose what weapons you want to have. You can kind of, if it's a human, it'll have this kind of properties and stuff. And you can basically kind of build it up that way. Or you can use the sort of the already prescribed sort of stat cards at the back of the book and build it up like that. Each model has like a gold cost, and that's how you kind of build up your points levels. But to be fair, it seems, and I'm saying this before playing it, it seems flexible enough to kind of play at multiple point levels. So if you just want to use 5 minis, just use 5 minis. If you want to use more, as more minis become available and you buy more stuff, and just add to it. It'll just work really nicely. 6 in the Head saying, are there any boats involved? Yes, shipboard and rules and stuff. Yeah, there is loads of stuff like that. I've not really kind of gone into, I probably won't go into that too in depth. I will mention it in the review and stuff, but I don't have any boats and stuff like that. Like I've never really played any pirate games before, so I don't really have any boats and stuff to go into that with. But yeah, it looks pretty good from that sort of stuff. Right, I'm going to put a little bit of Agrax wash over the top of that hat because I think I probably dry brushed it a bit light. So we'll tone that down a little bit. Phil Tolhurst says Zandri dust get litres of it. Yeah, and that's why it's run out, mate. Probably there's certain colours that I use a lot of, and Zandri dust is definitely one of them. So I'm just gonna kind of run this over the top of the hat a little bit, just to darken down where I've dry brushed a little bit too heavily. I probably would have used Zandri dust had any instead of using that lighter colour. But we'll just tone it down a little bit. Same on the boots as well. And we'll run it in around the top of the boot tops, just to darken them down a touch. That's nice. And I think we'll get the non-oil, and I'll put some of this over the skeleton bones. VGC on Wednesday nights always a bit more casual. Yeah, it's a bit more kind of relaxed, mate, isn't it? It's a bit more chilled, less kind of focused on a particular topic. But yeah, tonight it's nice to have the game to talk about as well. VGC, I love doing my books expenses as a freelancer. It gives me a sense of satisfaction, especially as he got his tax return back last night. I should be due some tax back, I think, next time as well. So, Michael Burke, good evening. How are you doing? He's asking about where do you find out more about the game and where's it sold? If you can go to, I don't know if it's been come on yet, but Christian, you legend, is just linked to the website there. There's also a discount code as well, which I think was waiting 15. Should give you 15% off in the store as well from tonight's stream. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm not kind of going overboard on this with the null oil, just enough to give it a little bit of separation to things like the fingers, just around the jawbone there, and where the teeth are, just to give a little bit of depth to it. Just come in here. We don't want to make it too dark. Peter saying, don't go to the website, it's a trap. It's a trap, mate, because it's full of nice stuff in it. That's the thing. Awesome. Right, we'll just tie that chest area up a little bit. I'll do that. I'll let that base dry off. I'll have to just leave it on there, I think. That's why I'm waiting for these. You know, the new ones on these have the replaceable tops on them, don't they? Like, because that base is now wet where I've been painting it, I don't really want to kind of pull the mini off. So I'm having to put that down and just use a cork now, where with the new stuff, that'll be much easier. Right, I want to go in. Let's go in with the grey just to start off. Where is it? We'll come in with a Celestra grey, just because we're gonna do the top like a light colour. So we'll come in with a Celestra grey on it first, just to kind of give it a nice base coat for to build on with the white. Jeffrey Higdon, good evening, Jeffrey. How are you doing? This is really enjoying finding new game rules to read through. Currently going through the new Musket and Tomahawk 2nd edition. I'm glad you take the time to highlight different games. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, it's part of the beauty of not being kind of driven by the clicks, really. Like it's about being part of the community and being sort of almost funded and supported by the community, really. If people want to see games that they don't normally see very often, then by supporting me, that gives my sort of business long-term sustainability, and then I can deliver on that. So yeah, it's kind of a bit of a two-way street, mate, but yeah, it works well. Also, the whole point of this when I started doing it was always going to be about the games that I was interested in. If I was just talking about the popular games to get people sort of just watching videos all the time, then unfortunately I would probably burn out very quickly and get very bored. And that's not what I do. I focus on the things that interest me, really. There's a lot of things that I get offered to have a look at that I turn down, purely because it just doesn't really interest me. It's not my wheelhouse, really. So it's nice when people get in touch and it's something awesome. So I'm just coming in here and just trying to tidy that up a little bit. I'm going to do the back as well. And all I'm doing here, folks, is just coming in with a Celestra Grey, just a nice thin layer of it. And I'm just kind of lightening up what is essentially going to be like a white top. Obviously, you never just paint it white because you can't really shade white as such. So the best thing to do is to use like a pale grey, which looks a bit like a dark white, if you like, and then just highlight up some of the spots with a bit of white. So you highlight to white, really. Peter says, I wasn't sure about the colour on her at first, but now I love it. To be honest, mate, I kind of wing it, like, because the way I figure is if I balls it up, it just goes and gets stripped, doesn't it? We'll take it off. We'll either paint over the top of it, or we'll just strip the colours off and start again. But sometimes, like if I'm doing like an army or something, I'll do a test model first. But yeah, when it's stuff like this, when they're not wearing a uniform, if you like. It's more just about kind of good feel, really. Just how am I feeling today? What am I gonna do today? But yeah, it's starting to come together now. Just lightening it up a little bit. I think these feathers need to be kind of. I think we might do red feathers on there just to kind of balance out the orange of the parrot on the shoulder, and the feathers are almost as if they used to be the parrot's feathers. I think that'd be quite cool. We'll do that one. JVC said he's off to work. It's been a slice, fellas. Take care. Thank you very much for coming in, JVC. Hopefully see you again here soon. Right, that's that. We'll let that dry a bit. Palmsy said, is it 1v1 or can more players get involved? I think I'm going to let the boss answer that one, mate. I think it's 1v1, but I could be completely wrong. Six in the Head says, I may have an in-depth Pirates of the Dread Sea interview in the next issue of the zine, but I don't want to plug it here. I think I just did, mate. There's nothing wrong with that, mate. You plug your magazine here, mate. There's nothing wrong with that. Tony seen you wing it, buddy. You're winging it works well. Yeah, I'm I try my best to be organised and plan it, but to be honest, tonight with the stream collapsing before I even got started, really, it kind of threw me a bit. Like I'm talking on the stream, trying to kind of interact with you lot, and in the back of my mind, my mind's going, so what went wrong? It could be this, it could be that. What about that? Chris Dawes says, how about rainbow coloured feathers on the hat? Rainbow coloured feathers. I think what I'll do is I'm going to do a red feather and an orange feather, because I think that'll just balance the top out a little bit, I think. I don't think I'm good enough to do rainbow coloured feathers. So we'll just take it easy on here, I think. Thordlim's in as well. Good evening, Thordlim. How are you doing, my friend? Nice to see you in, mate. The bottom one done there. Just come around from behind and pick the bottom one up. David Mumford says, believe in yourself, believe in the rainbow. No, mate. My eyesight's not the best at the best of times. You're then asking me to do it on camera in front of everybody else with the pressure. No, I think I'll just, I'm doing all right, mate. I'll just crack on. We've got a yellow one there, and then we'll put a little bit of highlight on it and darken it down and stuff, or brighten it up, whatever we choose to do. That's going all right. Tiny Wargame says 6 in the head Zenith issues, one's a collector's item now. Yes, I remember reading your interview in there, mate. 6 in the head, you can have 2v2 rules for captain and first mate or whatever, call them Pirate World. Are you trying to sell stuff now, mate? Super Pumpkin Man, good evening, Super Pumpkin Man. How are you doing, sir? So I hope to see this game in my local game store soon. Really enjoy pirate games. Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope it takes the pirate world by storm, eh? Let's hope we see it everywhere. Never mind you, Peter Nicholas, with your rainbow. Right, we'll just give that a bit of a coat there. Again, this is just that Griff Charger grey. I just find it's quite a nice base for metallics. You're just going to dry brush it up, and if you don't go overboard with the dry brushing, it tends to look a little bit like you've done some kind of like non-metallic metal effect on the cheap. What colour would this? Has she got a scabbard on that or not? On that sword, or is it? Would it have a scabbard? No, I don't think she would. She'd just pull it out and fight, wouldn't she? Being like a loop on a belt. So let's do that the same as well. That's looking good. How are we doing for time? Wow, 10 to 11. This is what happens when your computer keeps crashing. How are we doing? We still got 60 odd people in the chat as well. We'll keep going. There's no rush. We'll see if we can get this one finished tonight as well. 2 down, 8 to go. We still got to do a little bit of highlighting on our face as well. Lighten that one up a little bit. But we're getting there, folks. We're getting there. Right, I need to get the white now. Yes, so I did a little bit of work today to get some of the widget stuff on the stream working, because for some reason it didn't want to play any of the animations. But as you saw before there, when Matt did his very generous donation, the super chat there, we had the little images come up and stuff like that. So there's now one, if anybody pledges, there's a separate image and a little sound for that one now. And yeah, so it's now I'm kind of getting time on my hands to work on the stuff that was always just a nice to have things, just nice to do. Working on the bits that just, I wouldn't even say professional, but they just give a bit of fun to the streams. Where are we at? Lee Russ said it's time to hit the hey guys, great stream, really looking forward to hearing more about Pirates of the Dread Sea. Thanks very much, Lee. I'll catch you soon, mate. Cheers, buddy. Super Pumpkin Man says, ding good. I noticed the stream while listening to Lovecraft stories and switched over to you. Thank you very much, mate. It's always interesting to find out how folks find the stream, because everybody, I've said this before, that basically people kind of advise me not to do a lot of live streams on YouTube, that YouTube it doesn't push out your live streams, like you'll not build a channel up and all that kind of stuff. But I've always been about kind of doing what feels right for me. So yeah, it's interesting to find how people kind of find the channel. And like, I know, like, obviously a lot of people come here through like some of the bigger videos and stuff, and that's great. That's what they're there for, really, to appeal to a wider audience. And then that means that there's 60 odd people in the chat tonight that get to see something that maybe they wouldn't ordinarily find on their own. So where are we at? Steve's off as well. Nice to see you, mate. He says he's at work in the morning. Great stream. Thank you very much, mate. Jeffrey Higdon says, what brand of brushes do you use? Mostly, mate, I use Artis Opus brushes. I've got some Winsor & Newton Series 7 that I've had for quite some time. And then I've also, for things like dry brushes and stuff, I've got like some like Citadel dry brushes and stuff. I do have the bigger, the Artist Opus Series D dry brushes as well, which I really like. But these are quite nice for kind of like stippling with. I'm going to be doing some videos soon where I kind of show how to use these really. But yeah, but just for the smaller standard dry brushing, I'll just use kind of like an old GW one or something like that. So yes, if you can see what I'm kind of doing with the white here, just kind of highlighting at the top and leaving the grey in the recesses, just to give the impression of it being a white top without it being completely white. David Moffat says, live streams are great for community. Does YouTube hate community? YouTube likes money, mate. And the problem with the live stream is that basically they don't run adverts in the middle of your live streams, do they? And YouTube runs off making adverts. So creators don't do it because it doesn't run ads. YouTube tend not to really push out the videos afterwards too much, less so than they do for like a normal video. And they want to run ads on your videos. Basically, if you're getting lots of views on it, they want to run lots of ads, and they can't do that when you're streaming. So so it's not that they kind of hate communities. It's just as a platform, it's not really set up for it. So when people donate to the channel, YouTube takes a cut. That's how they kind of they make a little bit from that as well. And things like YouTube memberships and stuff, they're starting to push, because I think they're realizing now with like Mixer basically disappearing, they're realizing that YouTube is, as a live streaming platform, is a bit of a challenger to Twitch if they do it right. So I think things are getting better, but yeah, for quite some time they basically they would rather you made like sort of 5-10 minute videos and uploaded them instead. And the way YouTube's algorithm works basically is if I do a video and I get, say, 5,000 views on it, and then I do a live stream and it only gets, say, 500 views in the first day, then YouTube thinks, oh, that's not very popular. We'll not share his content out next time. So yeah, so there's a bit pros and cons, but at the end of the day, because this is based around a community, as long as I post in the Facebook group and the community have notifications, if you don't have notifications turned on, the little bell icon, please turn that on, because that, if you've got that turned on and you go into it and click tell me every time like there's a new video, then you'll always find out that I've got a new live stream or I've got a new video up. Otherwise, it'll just choose when not to do it. Dead Earth Games says, I'm going to hit the here now and more. Thanks so much, painting our minis. Anytime, buddy. I'm really enjoying painting them. Obviously, more stuff to come. Thank you very much, and no doubt we'll speak soon. Ryan Jackson says, good night all. He's off to put a little one to bed now and listen to Dungeons of Drakkenheim, episode 34. Nice, mate. Super Pumpkin Man says, oh, I like that you're using Citadel brushes and paints, meaning I'm not the only one. Yeah, as you can see, mate, it's pretty much all Citadel paints, mate. I've got the odd bits and pieces that I'll use, but I'm just kind of always using them, mate. So I think that's not too bad. I think we're going to lighten the face up a little bit, and then I think we'll stop screwing with it really, and keep it looking pretty okay. Right, where's my skin tone gone? I did have, oh, it's right next to me here. Parsival's off to bed as well. Good night, Parsival. Dead Earth Games says, night everyone, feel free to get in touch. Yes, and thank you very much for the code tonight as well. I appreciate you sticking around when the live stream went belly up. Not great as a first impression, but thank you very much. Right, you might see the top of my head peeking in now and again on this one because I need to focus my eyes on it. I would normally wear my stupid reading glasses, but I haven't got them on my table at the minute. For some reason, I think it's because the lights around me so bright. When I try and focus at this, it's making my eyes quite hard to focus on it. Palmsy's saying, when are you doing the 24-hour stream? I don't know if my PC would take it, mate. We're going to do a 24-hour charity stream, eh? If I can paint an army up in 24 hours. All right, I just need to... I think we'll tidy that face up later when I'm not doing it on camera. It'll probably be a bit easier on my eyes, I think, trying to do that. Right, okay, let's do some like Gore Grunter Firm. We'll use that for like wooden handles on the flintlocks. David Moffat says, a 24-hour stream sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. I've seen a few people do them for charity and stuff like that, and that, like, you get... The beauty of it is, for somebody like me, is that not all of my viewers are in the UK. So, as I kind of go around the clock, different time zones kind of wake up and come in. So whilst I wouldn't expect any single person to sit and watch it for 24 hours if I ever did something like that. I think there'd be enough people kind of around the world to kind of just to give me a nudge and keep me awake kind of thing. Who knows, one day we might do it as a special. If I hit 10,000 subscribers this year, and I've got like 6 months to do it or whatever, if I hit 10,000 subscribers, we might do a 24-hour live stream, like a charity one. That's a good motivation to do it. By the time I hit 10,000 subscribers, people will be back to work and stuff like that by then anyway. So yeah, we might have something to look to, and we'll get you to vote on the charity. David Moffat says, good night to all you beautiful European continentals. Good night, my friend. How are you doing? Lord Maiden says, we'll get you the Indomitors box and we'll film you and paint them. Make you paint them. Hopefully my Indomitors box turns up. I missed out on the first wave through a bit of a software glitch, but yeah, hopefully I get there in the end. Right, I'm going to pick this really... We'll get this bright orange and we'll highlight up a little bit on the thingy. Super Pumpkin Man says, I guess I might be the only American watching. Normally, I'm not. I think we normally get, there's quite a few Americans we normally get in as well. The numbers are starting to drop off now because I've been streaming for about 3 hours or whatever, but we normally get quite a few. I don't know if Barry Kleiber's still around. Barry's from Chicago area. Roberts, is Roberts around that way? Jeffrey there's from Atlanta. Nice one. Jacob's in USA. Yeah, I thought we get a few of our American cousins in. Blizzards is in as well. Yeah, I forgot Blizzards was still here. There you go, see? Around the world. Lord Maiden says it's 11 PM in the UK now, yeah. David Moffat's Canadian. Yeah, we've got like the United Nations in here. So I'll just highlight that up a little bit. VJ over in Australia there as well. Yeah, we've got a few nationalities that come in regularly. We've got who have we got? We've got some Dutch folks come in. We've got some Germans. We've got some Belgians come in as well. We've got folks over in Spain. Yeah, we've got obviously got UK folks as well. There's a good old mix. So what kind of stuff do you play then, Super Pumpkin Man? Are you a gamer? Are you just... Yeah, Vincent is both German and Belgian. Have you just not decided yet, Vincent? Yeah, Super Pumpkin Man. What brings you here tonight then? Are you a gamer normally? Are you more of a painter? Do you role play stuff? What's your bag? He's a collector. A collector of nationalities. So I'm just kind of messing about with this. Ravnos is currently mid-Atlantic. Hope you're not flying across the Atlantic, mate. Are you watching from a plane or something? Well, I'm just kind of picking out some colours now, just to pick out some bits of highlights for this parrot, as it's got a bit of kind of colour in its feathers. And then I'll probably just give it a very gentle wash over the top just to blend it in a little bit as well. Christian's just ordered the rule book. Nice one, mate. Nice one. Lots of piratey goodness. Vincent says, funny enough, my grandpa came to Germany as a prisoner of war, and he was a Belgian partisan. He broke out the prisoner of war camp and wanted to go to Berlin, but boarded the wrong train. He ended up in Berlin, where he met his grandma. Wow. I tell you what, mate. Them's the stories that we won't be telling our generation. Oh, so he wanted to go to Paris and he ended up in Berlin. Wow, that is an amazing story, mate. Super Pumpkin Man says, I am an artist painting, drawing, sculpting. Awesome, mate. Nice to see creative people hanging out with creative people. That's what I like to see. Sharing the creative love. If you're interested, if you're in Facebook, Super Pumpkin Man, if you check out the BlackJack Legacy community group, I'd love to see some of your work, your paintings, your drawings and sculptings. It'd be nice to see them. We were just talking about how we can't really share photographs on there through YouTube. So yeah, if anybody's new to the chat, they're not a member of the Facebook group, please do come across. Or even better, consider joining the Patreon from $2 a month, where it's essentially like this, folks hanging out and chatting 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, from all over the world. And it's another awesome place to share pictures and that kind of stuff too. We're getting there, folks, aren't we? We're getting there. The highlight on the face is awful because for some reason my eyes are not focusing on it properly tonight. I think I'm just getting tired a bit, so I don't want to wreck the face. I'll do that tomorrow, I think. David Moffat's saying the Discord is way better. I love the Discord. I owe VJ a big drink if you ever get to the UK, VJ, to say thank you for that, because I would never have done it if you hadn't kind of nudged me that way. I think that's meant to be some kind of piece of cloth or something, isn't it? That's kind of tied around the parrot's leg. Christian sharing the link there. Thank you very much, buddy. Super Pumpkin Man saying has a deviant art. If you have a link to it, buddy, feel free to share it if you can. I don't know if it lets anybody share links, but feel free if you want anybody to check it out. How are we doing for numbers? 43. We've still got enough in to make it worthwhile, haven't we? Deb's saying, how do I get an invite to the Discord channel? Deb's, through Patreon, you should already get a link. So if you can't find it, let me know and I can send you a link to it. But if you go into the Patreon page, there's a link in there, and the way it's set up now is everybody should have, it should automatically link you to it. So if you're struggling with it, please let me know, but it should all be there for you. VGCN, so very happy it worked out well. Great to have such a cool place. I think the cool thing is the Facebook group is a good place. Don't get me wrong, and there's some awesome folks in there. I think the difference with the Patreon chat is the fact that it's obviously a smaller group. Everybody's kind of sort of in it together type thing. They're all kind of helping each other out. They're all folks that kind of support me as well, which is like, you know, you've already got something in common. They kind of going above and beyond. And it's just the fact that it's a bit more relaxed. It's not, it's not all hobby. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. It's like just hanging out with your mates, really, isn't it? It's just, I like it, and I'd never used Patreon. Sorry, I'd never used Discord before, so I didn't really know what to expect. So yeah, I'm really pleased we kind of took the plunge and kind of started it up, mate. So thank you for the nudge. Thank you for the nudge. Joachim, thank you very much. Says good night and thanks for tonight's hangout from Sweden. Thank you very much, sir. Let's see what comes up on the little screen here. Anyway, I don't know why it doesn't go instantly. I think there's a delay in it intentionally, I think. I don't know why. But we should see it come up anytime now. There we go. My little dancing dog. Thank you very much, buddy. I really appreciate that. Lord Maiden says, Facebook seems to clump all the messages and notifications into one line. Discord shows every message. Yeah, the problem I've got with Facebook is great to kind of interact with people, but it's not a good way to keep track of stuff. Facebook doesn't show me every post, so if folks are posting stuff and I haven't replied on it, I haven't like sort of liked your post or whatever, I haven't given you any answered the question or whatever, it doesn't show me everything. I have to kind of make a point of trying to go back and searching through it every day. And it's easy to lose stuff. And the fact that it's just, it all gets logged, it's not in order kind of thing. So if you're talking about Wild West Exodus one day and 40k the next day and Vanguard the next day, or whatever it is, it just gets lost in the ether. Where in the Discord group, the way we've got it set up, there's the general chat, there's kind of like miniature painting chat, there's chat for specific games. And that way, if you're only interested in, say, Burrows and Badgers, you can go into the Burrows and Badgers chat and kind of like and hang out in there. It's like having a mini Facebook group for just it's like having a mini Facebook with all the different groups to kind of just hang out and chat in. I think it works really well. I'm really happy with how it's worked out. Right, I'm going to paint the base on this one. Discord is the evolved form of old message boards. Yeah, I think that's probably right, mate. To be fair, it works really, really well. I'm really happy with how it's all come together. And like VJ says, it's just fortunate. We've got a good bunch of people in there as well. I mean, we're up to like 104 people, I think it is now. We had somebody drop out this week, which is fine, obviously. But yeah, 104 people. That's not too bad, is it? It's a good start on the way to making this a business that's sustainable. So yeah, couldn't be happier with that. We need more overtime, obviously, but that's why we've got time. We've got time to do that. So yeah, happy days. So, well, I'm sorry, folks. I'm really sorry about how the stream screwed itself up earlier on tonight. I have got no idea what happened. I think it was probably something to do with Skype. I need to find a better way to bring people in as guests on the chat. It did not want to. It had a proper kind of through a paddy. Whether that was because it was trying to run 2 cameras at my end, plus stream, plus try to run Skype as well and do all its different bits and pieces. It did not like it. So I apologise, it kind of fell over. But yeah, we'll work out how to do it, whether we use Zoom or some other kind of software to patch people in. Blizzard saying Discord is a great place to tempt you into new games and minis. Yeah, it definitely is that, mate, isn't it? Six in the Head says, that's sterling mud. No, mate, I'm just using brown paint, mate. All I've done is I've put a bit of PVA glue and sand on the bases. It's just dead simple and it's nice and quick. It just gives you a nice texture to it. And I'm just using brown paint, mate, just a Gothor brown, just to paint over the top of it as a base. And then what I'll do is I'll dry brush over the top of that to lighten it back up and make it look a bit more kind of dusty and sandy. We're just using this as the base layer. But yeah, it does look a bit like that, doesn't it? But it's essentially that, mate. Just PVA glue and sand, and then I'm just painting over the top of it, mate. VJ says we all know how much fun Indomitus over the weekend was in the Discord chat. Yeah, I think you'll notice from the Discord chat I have purposefully kind of distanced myself from that discussion now, because I honestly, like, it's kind of, it's just it's unbelievable how much chat, like, everywhere. I mean, like if GW does something well, if GW does something bad, if people perceive that they've done something well or perceive they've done something bad, it dominates chat everywhere on the internet. And that's why I posted that thing on Sunday about, right, we're having a Indomitus free day. There's loads of cool games out there. We deserve to give some love to some of those. Christian saying, no worries, tech issues happen, and it's not like it occurs every stream. Yeah, thankfully not. Thankfully not. It's been pretty stable since, like, so it's definitely something to do with Skype's the only difference. It's the only addition to it. It's something to do with Skype, because my PC is running, like, right, well comfortable. I've got all of, like, the kind of, like, the stuff in the background now, looking to see how it's running, like, sort of memory being used and disk usage and CPU and stuff. And it's absolutely flat. It's not causing any problems at all. I need to understand, like, why Skype's pulling so much from that. So anyway, so folks, that's where we've got to so far tonight. I think what I'll do is, that base looks dry, so we'll do a little bit of dry brushing on that one before we kind of before we call it a night. What do I want to do with this? It would have been nice to have some Xandri dust, but I don't have any Xandri dust. So VG is saying, for bringing other people in, I would suggest using a lighter video chat like Facebook video chat, and then using the NDI screen capture app to get in OBS. Yeah, I used the NDI to bring in Skype, to be fair, and it's worked before, but I don't know why suddenly tonight it had a flump. But we'll get there. We don't need to do it too often, and I assume it's probably something to do with the fact it's trying to do 10 things at once. So VG saying, happy to help run some tests during the weekend if you need. To be honest, mate, I ran tests all day, and I ran some tests when Dave first came on. It was when I started streaming. That was when it seemed to fall over. So even when I was previewing it, it looked absolutely fine. There was no problem. It was really stable. It wasn't jumping around. So when you click stream, it runs a preview through YouTube, and once you're happy with the preview, you click start the stream with YouTube. So I don't know if it was a combination of, well, we'll find out. I don't know. I'm guessing. It's a bit like everybody talking about Indomitus at the weekend and where GW went wrong. Nobody knew. Everybody was guessing. So we'll find out though. We'll get to the root cause of it. But yeah, thanks for the offer, mate. I might still take you on that at some point. So just a bit of dry brushing on the base now to lighten it up. Yeah, I'm not familiar with, like, Skype and stuff like that, mate. It's like as a piece of software. I'll have to look into some other stuff. But yeah, we'll crack it, man. We'll crack it. I'd hate to spend a load of money on a new processor for my computer and find out it's no better because Skype's a bag of shit. Palmsy saying, yeah, Pirate's Curse, man. Super Punk Man said, I've been having connection problems on Discord while running my RPGs. Maybe it's just everybody. Maybe it's just everybody at the minute. It's like kind of all trying to stream at the same time. A bit of Rack White, I think, just to lighten it a bit more. Lord Maiden says, it's almost if GW didn't like the fact you won't do a slow grow of their stuff. Yeah. Either them or another company. VJ says, NDI is a fantastic framework. I use it for video, visuals and stuff all the time. Yeah, it works really well, to be fair. The NDI stuff in general. But yeah, I think you're right. It's probably just Skype having a shit Right. Oh, that's a bit heavy, I think. I'll just like that. So as you can see, folks, I'm just kind of like lightening it up, mate. Just making it kind of look like rough ground, really. If you think we started from that kind of that browny colour, and just this is why I like using sand. I know technically the grains of sand are too big in a scale type thing to be sand. However, because they're a bit bigger, like they dry brush and they take texture in really well. So it's just to give a bit of like a bit of something to look at, rather than it being really fine. So, right. I think what I'll do is, while I've got that white out as well, we'll do a little bit more white across the chest area, just to lighten that up a little bit. From where I had the null oil. That's it. There we go. And we'll tidy up around the rim of the base, and then I think we'll call that one done. Let me just get this one. We'll go Thor Brown. Richard Parker, good evening. He says, I'm afraid I'm really late to the party here. What are you painting up, dude? The minis look ace. I am painting up minis from, let me get this this book for you, from The Pirates of the Dread Sea, by a company called Dead Earth Games. And yeah, these are some of their undead pirates. This is one of the human female pirate captains I was painting earlier as well. And then we've got a number of other bits and pieces, like there's a voodoo necromancer who basically resurrects the undead pirates. Yeah, they're really nice minis, mate. Definitely check them out. There was a Discord. There was a discount code in the chat as well tonight. VJ says, did Dead Earth Games take off? Yeah, I think it was about 11 o'clock, mate. He said he was off to bed. So it was awesome for him to come in, actually. I hadn't expected him to come in to hang out in the chat and answer some questions. And I appreciate it as well, like, kind of when the stream fell over earlier on, he was around to kind of keep it going as well and answer some of your questions, which was really nice. It's nice when the games designers and the companies kind of interact as well. Not a lot of them do, and I get that. I get that busy, and the bigger the company, the more that they become 9-to-5 jobs type things, and the more that they don't want to do that when they're at home in their own personal time. So I completely get that, but it's nice when we get some of the indie games on and they come and hang out. So just paint around the rim of the base here, just to kind of keep it light. And then we'll call that one done for tonight, I think. There we go. Come a bit closer there. Not too shabby for a night's work after after the computer fell over. Right, I haven't even finished my beer yet. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to just tidy a couple of things away here. Give me a bit of space, and I'm just going to hang out and chat while I finish my beer, I think. Let me get my brush soap. I'll clean my brushes up. I'll clean my brushes while I'm sitting hanging out with you lot, and we'll click over to here. Bedtime for Deb. Off to bed, Deb. Take care. Yeah, if you have any problems with the Discord, just give me a shout, and I'll help you get into there. But yeah, you're already a Patreon, so yeah, it'd be cool to have you in. Christian saying today when you select the voice channel, click the video camera icon to click the video chat. Has I didn't realise Discord had a video chat, mate. Is that what you're talking about? So you can do video through the voice channel. I never knew that, mate. I never knew that. Richard Parker says, oh man, that's another game I've got to get involved in now. Yeah, it's a blessing and a curse, mate, isn't it? It's a blessing and a curse. Superpunk says, my jeans to the cult have a Mars attacks look to them. Nice one. Pomsy says, I love painting around the rim of the base. It's a great feeling. Do you know what it is, mate? Me too. I have no idea why. But it is a nice feeling. It's just like, I like doing it kind of like multiple thin coats. It just makes it super smooth. Anybody that's in the chat tonight that isn't a subscriber, I would absolutely love it if you would consider subscribing to the channel. It just kind of means that if you subscribe and click the notification button, whenever I do a live stream, I live stream twice a week. I do additional videos on top of that as well, and you get notified when I'm going live or when there's a new video to watch. So I really would appreciate that. It helps me out, and hopefully I can kind of give you some content that you maybe don't get elsewhere. Palmsy there. Probably saying, did you get a chance to look at the 9th edition rules yet, Andy? I've obviously looked through the core rule thing, mate. The what's it called? Like the free version. I printed them off and I've been reading through them. It seems pretty straightforward, mate. I mean, I think the complexity with 40k comes in, like when you start bringing in all of the kind of the faction specific rules and all the extra bits that you won't get obviously in the core rules. Tony saying there, is it because it's the last bit that you do and your mini is finished? It might well be, mate. I never feel like my mini's finished. Like, even if I've spent ages on the miniature itself, it never looks right until the base is done. And sometimes I'll actually go and paint the base halfway through, because sometimes you hit that brick wall where it's like you're thinking, this is just not coming together. I don't like how this looks. And sometimes I'll go and I'll put some colour on the base, because it just kind of almost starts to bring it together a little bit. So yeah, maybe it is, but there's just, I don't know why. Maybe because I'm not really worried about. Palmsy saying, yeah, I like the circular swoosh painting sensation. I think there's an element of that as well, mate. Easily pleased, aren't we? So, Jacob saying, what do you use to strip your minis? I use something called Clean Spirit, which it's not a brand name. It's just it's like white spirit, but it's just more environmentally friendly, so you can put it down the drain and stuff like that. There's no alcohol in it, so it's not liable to burst into flames. I put it in a relatively cheap ultrasonic cleaner. 2 or 3 minutes in there, and then take an old toothbrush that I use specifically just for minis, not for my teeth on weekends, and just give them a scrub, mate. Dettol works as well, and what's it called? Not white spirits, like terps, the purple stuff. I forget what it's called. Yeah, they all work as well, mate. Six in the Head says, I use isopropyl. I've heard that works really well. At the minute, there's a bit of a shortage of the stuff, and it's quite expensive. Whereas like white spirits, I can just pick up from a DIY store. Yeah, VJ is saying it's just definitely a sense of completion finishing the base off. Yeah, I don't know if it's just because it's like, it just gives a nice kind of smooth finish to it, doesn't it? Anyway, it is done. Of course, it's now stuck to the base. It's stuck to the matte stuff. That's it. And that's it. My little pirate. It's amazing, isn't it, folks, when you see how small they are, when they're on the camera and it's like zoomed in, and you think, that'll be no bother. And you see them like that and you think, Jesus Christ, they're tiny. As I was saying, methylated spirits, that's what I was trying to think of, mate. Methylated spirits. Yeah, the purple stuff. It's just that because I put it in an ultrasonic cleaner, you shouldn't put alcohol anything that has alcohol bases in it. And I think meths has got alcohol in it, because potentially it could just burst into flames. But yeah, the clean spirits doesn't have that in it. It works a treat. So right, that's my brushes clean. I'll tidy my my paints away in the morning. I think the beauty of having a nice area where I can sit and paint, and I'm gonna sit and finish my beer and hang out with you lot for a little bit. Biostrip. Is Biostrip not a bit of a, like, is it not a bit nasty, Biostrip? Few more for isopropyl as well, yeah. BJ says, Elias, totally awesome, or Dettol and ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, the Dettol and ultrasonic cleaner works. But the only problem with Dettol is you need to use Dettol to kind of to scrub them with as well, because as soon as you put water on them, it kind of turns to like a horrible like jelly stuff. VG says, do they put purple dye in the methylated spirits in the UK? I'm not sure, mate. Meths is isopropyl with additives to make it toxic. Didn't know that, mate. David Moffat says, also don't put acetone in ultrasonic cleaner. Yeah, I mean, there was a couple of tips today. I think it was from the other day from VJ. Not from VJ, sorry, from Marco. So you put your minis in like a jar and put like meths or Dettol or whatever it is into the jar, and then put the jar inside the ultrasonic cleaner in like a bath of water. That'll work pretty well as well. Richard Parker says, Brewdog Punk IPA, you're a man after my own heart, dude. Fantastic beer and great company. To be honest, mate, I love the taste of it. It's just if I'm only having like one can or something like that, I just find it's just got so much more flavour. It's just nice. I wouldn't want to drink it like 5 or 6 cans of it, but yeah, it's nice that just to have the odd can. Christian saying Biostrip is an eco-friendly product. Very good at what it does and can be washed down. It's like, I think I'm thinking of something else. Might be Night Remorse. Night Remorse works well as well. Richard Potter says, a couple of pints of it with no food kicks my ass. Yes, it will do with mine as well, to be fair, mate. Yeah, my wife bought me a Punk IPA sort of home brewing kit for Christmas that I've still yet to do. So yeah, I'll have some home brew IPA stuff. Jason says, what's your favourite kind of craft beer? I'm probably a big fan of Beavertown neck oil. I think that's what that's what I tend to buy, either this or that. But I kind of like that stuff really. I tend to drink more lager, but sort of if I'm just having 1 or 2 drinks, I love Guinness. I'm a big fan of brown ale as well. Obviously Newcastle brown ale being a local one, or it used to be local until the Newcastle brewery shut down. Yeah, when it comes to kind of like craft stuff, I'm a big fan of Beavertown neck oil. Mark Hawley says double punk is rocket fuel. I haven't tried double punk, mate. I think I've had some of is it Hazy Jane? That's quite nice as well. I don't mind that. Richard Parker saying Newcastle Brown is great too. I used to work for Newcastle breweries, so I used to get we used to get a free allowance every month of beer. So I used to get a crate of brown ale every month. Yeah, Richard Potter saying I didn't even know they did homebrew punk. Yeah, so it was from a company called Brooklyn Brewing Company, and the kind of the ingredients that you came was from Brewdog. So Palmsy saying I think all the designer ale stuff tastes like flowers. Are you heathen, mate? Krabby says I like Cumberland ale. It's getting more and more difficult to find. I don't think I've ever had that, mate. David says Kilkenny is pretty tasty. I used to like Caffrey's. I went through a bit of a phase of drinking Caffrey's for a while. I really like that. Tim saying Beavertown's cracking. I didn't realise, mate. I watched a video recently which was about Tottenham Hotspur's their new stadium. And it was a video about how it changes between an NFL pitch and like a UK football pitch. And they did a behind the scenes tour as well. And I think it's got the longest bar in Europe inside the stadium. And it's actually got a Beavertown brewery inside the stadium where they brew the beer like inside rather than getting it shipped in, because it's more cost effective to brew it on site and have the beer there ready to go rather than trying to bring empties of barrels and all that kind of stuff in. I'd love to go and visit it sometime. Basically under the stadium, it's all got like a glass front so you can see the brewery as you're walking around the stadium. It looks fantastic. Jason says, I have a bar and grill in St. Louis that serves Guinness on tap. Jason, when things calm down, mate, I'm going to have to come to St. Louis and come and have a beer with you then, mate. Richard Potter says, he's jealous, Hazy Jane's good, as is Zombie Cake. Big fan of Clockwork Tangerine. I've not tried either of those two, mate. I'll have to give them a try. David Delaney says, I love Guinness, even the crap we get here in the States. Never had a genuine Irish article. So I used to work for Newcastle breweries who make Newcastle Brown Ale. And the only reason, this is a true story, the only reason it ever got shipped to the US was because of Clint Eastwood. And Clint Eastwood came to the UK for whatever reason, filming a movie, I suppose, and loved brown ale so much. He would get brown ale imported into the US, like by the crates, basically just for him. And somehow kind of word got out, and that was where it started. And it ended up being the biggest imported beer in the US at one point. I don't know if it still is, but it certainly used to be. Krabby says, I like a Guinness, mine, cracking Sunday pint. I like a Guinness, like in a pub. If I'm gonna have like one or two beers, or have one with a Sunday dinner. I love a pint of Guinness with a Sunday dinner, like probably like beef and gravy and a Sunday dinner. Yeah. Pomsy says, I like my drinks to taste disgusting. Barry says, I don't drink anymore, but I don't drink any less either. Tiberius says, I'm not late, am I? It's kind of time's kicking on, mate, but I'm finishing my beer, mate. So as long as I'm finishing my beer, I'm still streaming anyway. Pomsy saying, not just in time. Vijay says, I have to bring you over some good Aussie craft brews when I come over. With that Discord beer, you're shouting this could get loose. Nice one, mate. Richard says, Guinness in England is okay. I wouldn't choose to drink it here, really. I went to Ireland, though, and it's phenomenal. I guess it probably doesn't travel well. I'm not sure how much of it actually really travels, mate, to be fair. I think that's the problem. So brown ale, for example, when I worked at the Newcastle brewery, the brown ale in the brewery tasted phenomenal. You could actually drink it warm when it was coming from the tanks, and it tasted fantastic. But then what they did is they started kind of like exporting it and sending it everywhere. It all had to be pasteurized, and the taste changed quite a bit. So the brown ale you used to get in Newcastle, a bit like Guinness, I suppose, the brown ale you got in Newcastle was different to the brown ale you got everywhere else. And then obviously as things kind of became mass market, it just tasted the same everywhere. And now it's not even kind of made in Newcastle anymore. Now it's made in York, in Tadcaster. Christian said, I can't drink any ales. What do you drink, Christian? You do drink, don't you? Tiberius is saying, Brewdog hipster booze. It's bloody expensive, mate, for a few cans of this stuff. David Delaney says, my favourite situation for Guinness is a cold, snowy winter day in the bar surrounded by good friends. Yeah, to be honest, mate, a nice, hot, sunny day in the bar surrounded by friends is a good place. James Bray saying, evening, I'm a bit late. Yeah, me too, mate. I screwed up the first stream. My computer crashed, so I've had to do a second one. I think I'll just hide away the first stream so people don't see it. Blizzard says, back when I drank, Heineken was my beer choice. I don't mind a Heineken, mate. Robert says, great, now I've got to go get beer. And Vijay says, I can get the brown ale over here. Tastes decent. Yeah, I've never really tasted it abroad before. Vijay says, anyone else like to mix up their beer with the seasons? Oh, definitely. Like when it's summer, when it's really hot, I love like a bottle of Krabby's ginger beer, or like a cider or something like that. Like sitting outside in a pub kind of beer garden, having a really, really cold cider. Like there's nothing better. And then obviously in the winter, like I like something a bit heavier, like an ale or like a Guinness or something like that. Vijay said he drinks dark beers in the winter. Red ale, port ale. Yeah, I like port ale. Christian says mainly bourbons for me. Four Roses, Jim Beam, or Jack D. Nice, mate. A man of taste. Tim says we can find out. I recommend KBS Kentucky Breakfast Stout, the smoothest bottle stout I've had. I'm gonna have to go looking for this stuff now. We need to have a beer recommendation tab in the Discord chat. Tybee said, I do like the how the Brewdog alcoholic free is called Nanny State. They do another one as well called alcoholic. What is it? It's called something AF, like for alcohol free, but it sounds like it's in as fuck. Robert Fannelson, you're late here, but just got US Guinness Brewery in my backyard. Have you really, mate? I did not know there was a Guinness Brewery in the States. VJ saying in the summer it's IPA, summer ales, Pacific ales. So what's the big sort of Australian beers then, VJ? Is lager still pretty much the kind of like the main drink? Because I remember kind of like thinking of things like Victoria Bitter and Swan beers. Obviously Foster's, but it's like I think that's more of a marketing thing as opposed to a real Australian beer these days. Richard saying Murphy's Irish Stout is great if you can find it. Yeah, definitely. Tony, what was that one Tony was just saying there before, jumping off the top? Theakston's All Peculiar. Yeah, Theakston's is nice, mate. When I worked for Scottish and Newcastle breweries, Theakston's was part of our kind of portfolio. And the Theakston family not long ago bought the brewery back from Scottish Newcastle, or from Heineken, as because they ended up taking over Scottish Newcastle breweries. The Theakston family own it again now. And yeah, Theakston's OP is really nice. Jason says, what's your go-to spirit? I'm a gin drinker. Definitely whiskey for me, mate. I'm definitely a whiskey drinker. Never used to be when I was younger, like vodka, lime and soda, that kind of stuff was definitely probably my spirit then. But these days, yeah, I like a nice whiskey. David saying for sure, crisp in the summer, heavy in the winter, 100%. BG said Heineken's not a great beer, but I like Foster's. If it's free, I'll drink it. If I was going to buy like a lager, I tend to like either Moretti or I do like Peroni. My local pub does Peroni on draft, so I tend to drink pints of Peroni if I'm in there. I've been for quite some time now. What else do I normally have? I try to choose Heineken. I don't mind Budweiser actually. David saying Stiegel in the winter, Stiegel Radler in the summer. I've never heard of that, mate. Super Pumpkin Man said it's 100+ degrees here. It always makes me feel like people are like boiling alive when I hear 100+. Like here in the UK, we can't decide if we want imperial or metric system. So we have like feet and inches, we have meters, we have grams, we have stones, pounds. We have but we do temperature in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. So I remember the old thing from school about double it and add 30 is roughly how you convert the two. So 100 degrees would be like 35 degrees Celsius over here. That's still like a really hot day, to be fair. I think it's been about 14 degrees Celsius here. So what would that be? That would be like, what's that? 28, about what's that? About 58 degrees for you. So like half as hot. Vincent saying, back when I was still drinking, I drank Stemberg Export and Berliner Kindle. No, I've never heard of those ones, mate. VG says we should have a beer channel on Discord. Yeah, I think I just said that, yeah. Richard was just saying there. Brewdog are also working with Lamb of God on alcohol-free beer too. My mate buys quite a lot of alcohol-free beer. I mean, he drinks, but he likes to have some alcohol-free beers at home just so it's not like, so he's not drinking all the time kind of thing. And I think he subscribes to one of those kind of like monthly like deliveries where you get like 10 or 12 different alcohol-free beers kind of things. Yeah. Jason says, yeah, recommend beers to pair with your mini painting. 100% too, mate. Foster's is terrible and no one drinks it. It's the export crap. We used to own Foster's when I worked for Scottish Newcastle Brewery. So our big brands when I worked for them back then was John Smith's, which is like a kind of like a bitter. Foster's, Kronenberg, Baltika, which was a Russian beer. What else we used to do? We used to do Strongbow was one of our brands. I'm trying to remember what else we did as well. Newcastle Brown Ale, obviously. McEwen's, which was very much kind of like Scotches, like Scotch beers. So yeah, that was the ones. Robert says, yeah, the US Guinness Brewery supposedly had a US blonde that you guys don't get. Interesting, mate. Tim says, Brewdog recently made an ale called Barnard Castle Eye Test. I saw that, mate. It was Keir Starmer, wasn't he? Like when the pubs were reopening, he had a pint of it, I think. VJ says, so many great Aussie craft beers, but stuff that's pretty mainstream, I would say Cooper's. I'll have to kind of like look out for some of that stuff. I quite like just trying some different bits and pieces. Vincent saying Stumberg was, because it was dirt cheap, 50 cents cold in a 24/7 shop. 50 cents cold, wow. Hangover straight out of hell. Blizzard says, my Aussie friends call Foster's Australian for kangaroo bits. Wow. Young Henry's is pretty big now as well. Wow. VG's had my 40th birthday there. Nice one. David Delaney, are you a cocktail guy? I used to be a bartender and it was like a whole new world that was opened up to me. Yeah, I do like cocktails actually. My wife kind of turned me on to cocktails because she likes a cocktail and stuff. When we were first kind of like sort of dating and stuff, it was around the time in the UK there was a lot of kind of cocktail bars seemed to open. It became pretty cool to like to have these kind of mixologists and stuff like that. So there was obviously the main kind of like chains like Revolution, which were like kind of mainly a bit mass market, but then there's a few like more local ones and stuff, things like I forget their names now, but like kind of bars that specialized in cocktails. A whiskey old fashioned is probably still my favorite, but I do love like, I quite like it, what they called again, I do like a porn star martini. I quite like the taste of those. I'm not a big fan of zombies or what they called again, Long Island iced teas. They're a bit heavy for me. But yeah, I do like a bit of sort of different cocktails and stuff. I think I've said before, I used to work in a wine company. I was a wine taster, and I got sent on courses basically to kind of like to educate my palate really. And from there, it really opened up a lot of stuff. I completely looked at food differently. I looked at cocktails differently. It started to get me into whiskies. I think I'd tasted whiskey in the past and went like, oh, that's awful. But once I kind of had a bit more of an educated palate and understood what I was looking for, I kind of found some things that I liked the taste of and some things that I didn't, and I knew what I was looking for. I started kind of like smoking the odd cigar as well at that point because the flavor profiles on cigars is absolutely fantastic. So I always kind of, I've got like a humidor and I've got like a selection of different cigars that I like, and I might have one once in a blue moon. Like this weekend, it's my sister-in-law's birthday, and we've got they're coming over with their kids, and we're going to have a barbecue at home, like me and my brother-in-law will kind of like, we'll sit and have like a cigar and a beer and stuff. So yeah, I'll probably have a cigar maybe once every 2 or 3 months or something like that, like over the summer when the weather's nice and you can sit outside. But yeah, it's nice. Mark says Hell's Bells Camden Brewery Lager is ace. There's one of my local pubs does Camden stuff on tap, and they have Hell's Bells. Carrie says I'm a rum guy nowadays. I love a whiskey. I do like a nice rum as well. Like I quite like a spiced rum, like a Sailor Jerry's or something. And I like Kraken rum as well. Wow, that was this has been the busiest chat of the night. I think now it's all kind of run off the top. Pomsy says stay away from lager, mate. You'll get the old beer gut. I've already got a beer gut, mate. Why do you think I do YouTube? Because everything's from the waist up. James said, had a couple of punk IPAs this evening and now finishing the evening with a Hague Club. Oh, obviously 5 minutes. Exactly, mate. Here's to you. If you've not tried Monkey Shoulder as well, mate, I quite like Monkey Shoulder as kind of like a not expensive, like easy drinking whiskey. It's quite nice as well. VJ says we should do a beer swap to go with a mini swap. That's pretty cool, mate. I like that idea. David says Canada runs mostly metric, but we're still thinking imperial. Yeah, I think that's pretty much the same as us, mate. It's almost like we're not a big enough company to rebel against much, so we just rebel against like I'm not getting your European ounces, your European kilograms. Sorry. Krabby says Corona is my favourite summer bottle. Had it with a couple of Coors Light recently. I quite like Coors Light, mate, just for easy drinking stuff. Inza Nelson, the Rams, yes. Sadly, don't like their new logo. It's kind of put me off buying any of the new kind of like clothing range, to be honest, this season, because I don't really like the new logo. So I think I'll stay with my OG stuff. Super Punkman said, I wish I could move to the UK. Is it all this talk of beer, mate? Is that what it is? You want to come now? Palmsy said, what happened to Castlemine 4X? God, yeah, those were the days. Blizzard said it's 88 here. I'd gladly take 58. Anti-Hero IPA. I don't think I've tried that, mate. Krabby Sintiski ruined me when I worked in Poland, and then when it came to the UK, it was awful in comparison. I'm trying to think what I kind of drink when I've been like on holiday and stuff recently. I can't even remember what I was drinking when I was in the US. When I was over in America, not last year, the year before, what was I drinking over there? I don't remember now. I remember being in Vegas, and we used to go, I was staying in the Cosmopolitan Hotel on the Strip in Vegas, and over the road from the Cosmopolitan was Planet Hollywood, and outside Planet Hollywood there is the PBR, which is the Professional Bull Riders like bar. And where it was just an awesome people watching place. And they used to do like a bucket of beer. Like I think it was like 5 bottles of lager for like $20 or something like that. So me and my wife would get like some like nachos and some nibbles and stuff, get a bucket of beer and just kind of sit there on the strip just watching the world go by, people watching life go by. And I'd never seen it in the UK. You might be able to get it now, but they used to do Bud Light with lime. But it was like a green bottle, and it was like the aluminium bottles that the US have, and it was Bud Light with lime. It was just like so easy drinking, like on a nice hot day out in the sun, like a little kind of like umbrella over the top to keep the sun off my head, obviously, and just watching the world go by. Spent many a day out there like that. Inza saying Rev Bev in Chicago, Anti-Hero IPA. Oh, I'll have to look out for these, mate. Vijay says 4X is one of the big local brews. Queensland is 4X. Tui's, that's the one I can remember as well. Draft Victoria is Melbourne bitter, or Victoria bitter. I remember that one, VB. Pompey saying Budweiser is the worst. I don't mind Budweiser, mate. I quite like Bud Light as well, actually. Tony says, any votes for Mad Dog 2020? I love how these chats kind of just take a completely different turn towards the end of the night. Vijay saying, okay, got to drive a little fella to daycare. Take care, mate. Drive safe. Lord Mints is a cider drinker as well. A cider driver. Is it weird we have state brews? Probably not when it's like the states are the size of your country, mate, to be fair. Thorglum says, bars that specialise in cocktails. Cocktail bars. Yeah, but like, we didn't really have cocktail bars like that, like, sort of years ago. You would call them a cocktail bar, but really all they were kind of like posy bars. Where, like, going back a number of years ago now, like proper cocktail bars started to spring up with proper cocktail menus of like, and people who knew what they were doing. It wasn't just a case of like rum and coke, like back, like, you know, or a White Russian type thing. David says that. Whoop! I just jumped off my screen there. David said, I like gin martinis, mostly the mixed drinks though. I can't and cannot believe those are really names for drinks. Six and Ahead says, my mum's partner smokes cigars in restaurants. It's really embarrassing. Do you know what it is, mate? I only ever smoke them at home, like in the garden, because I mean, if you don't like the smell, they do kind of stink. It's quite antisocial, I suppose. I did smoke some when I was over in the States. There was a particular bar which was like a cigar bar, and it was quite nice to actually sit with other people and enjoy a cigar. But yeah, it's one of those things that, I mean, they take ages to kind of like a good cigar will take like an hour to smoke or something like that, at least an hour, and you've really got to kind of be in the mood for it. You've got to pair it with the right drink, otherwise it'll taste weird. It goes really nice with kind of like with a whiskey or a bourbon. Goes nice with some red wines as well. Really, anything that's kind of like chocolatey or cocoa or caffeine kind of tasting. Krabby says, I'll take a snake bite. That's about as fancy as I get these days. Richard saying, +1 for Sailor Jerry's and Kraken here, dude. Don't mind Captain Morgan. Yeah, I did have a bottle of Captain Morgan behind me, but it seems to have gone downstairs for some reason. Tiberius says, OVD is my rum of choice, but I'll go Kraken down south because apparently not an English thing at all. Yeah, I've never heard of OVD, mate. Foster Centennial IP is good. I've not heard of that one either, mate. Bombs used to drink snake bites in the Vault nightclub. Bitter and Twisted. That's a cool name for a beer, isn't it? Pabst Blue Ribbon is also a beer. Yeah, PBR. I remember it was like a cheap. It was like a cheap beer, I think, over in the States. It was kind of like it was almost like the thing that like like the tramp's drunk kind of thing. That was the impression I got anyway. It seemed to be the cheapest thing when in any bar you went into. Pabst was the PBR was the cheap one. Boris says Imperial metric, but then you had to go over the cliff with British threads, which is measured in threads per inch. It is, mate. 4X adverts were brilliant. They were. I can see the pub from here. Nothing like a strong dry cider with a couple of ice cubes. Yeah, I like ice cubes in a cider, mate. Not a driver, a diver. Think Dio, holy diver, but change it a cider diver. PBR, me. Can you really consider that beer? Yeah, exactly, mate. So the PBR was the name of the pub because it was the professional bull riders thing. They had like, you know, that sport. It was a sports bar basically. But I remember PBR was the Pabst Blue Ribbon. James said I signed up for Flavorly beer subscription, £27 a month for 20 beers, no more than 4 of any one beer. It's quite nice actually just to try some different stuff. Yeah, pop some codes in the Discord, mate. That would be cool. Budweiser says allegedly funds trophy hunting. If you can Google it if you want. I don't know the details. Trophy hunting. Is that like sort of like just like hunting elephants and stuff like that, is it? Obviously, I don't know. I can smoke the most things, but cigars leave my mouth like a carpet. It's because like when you're smoking cigars, is not you don't inhale them like a cigarette. You basically just taste the flavor. So you take the smoke into your mouth, and you kind of let it move around inside your mouth. And again, this goes back to when I was being taught like sort of like educate my palate and which parts of your tongue will taste different parts of a flavor profile and stuff like that. And so you kind of take the smoke and you taste the flavors and then you exhale it out. So you never inhale it like you don't take it in like a cigarette type of thing. And I've never smoked cigarettes. I've never tried a cigarette in my life. So it's not like it was kind of alien to me or anything like that. It's just some really smooth flavors. It's really interesting. Dave Doggy says you're back, mate. Yeah, I've been back for a few hours now, mate. How long have I been streaming now? Let's have a look. Got no ideas how long I've been streaming. The numbers are dropping down, but we've still got a good crowd in for a bit of a chat. I think this is the latest one I've ever done. Tony's saying I was in a play once and had to smoke 3 cigars a night for 3 months. I'll be honest, mate. Like I tend to smoke the big thick ones kind of thing, like things like what you call like a wide Churchill, like the Robustos with the bigger ring gauges, which is like probably about a 42 ring gauge, 42 to a 50 ring gauge. But they take a long time to smoke. I couldn't smoke multiple cigars. Like some people kind of just chew on them all day, don't they? Like kind of thing. But like one cigar is enough. And I can understand how people get like a bit lightheaded because it's like a strong beer, really, like, or a strong whiskey. Like on an empty stomach, you need to have a good feed, a good meal first. That's why they're great after a barbecue or something. You need to have like a full stomach before you start smoking, but you can get really lightheaded. Beer flavored water, natural ice. Wow. Anyone put me in the direction of how to paint silver hair? I would probably go, mate, with like a really kind of silvery blue, like silver. When it comes to hair, it's got a really kind of pale blue. I'd almost potentially go like a grey, even like something like a contrast paint, like a light grey, and then maybe dry brush it with white just to kind of pick out the silvery edges to it. I think, mate. James is saying Heineken was his beer for years, and then about 2015, I totally went off it. Tasted of chemicals. Carling does that to me, mate. Carling does that. When I can't drink Carling beer, it tastes of chemicals to me. Obviously, saying I need a Hamlet after this stream. I thought I need one, mate, when the whole stream collapsed. Lord Mason says, "Be right back. Don't go anywhere." Okay, mate. I'll hang around for a bit longer. Blizzard says, my uncle used to chew on cigars but never lit them up. The problem with cigars, they are so expensive in the UK because obviously there's a lot of tax. There's a lot of tax on cigars in the UK. So if you go to Spain, like when I go to Spain on holiday, I tend to bring some back with me because there's not the tax sort of stuff on. I think Holland's pretty good for cigars as well. Obviously, places like Cuba as well. Palmsy's just saying there as well. Sorry, just reading James's thing. But they're really expensive in the UK, right? And the ones I like are probably about they're probably about 18 quid each. And even a cheap cigar in the UK, like it's probably about 11 or 12 quid. So that's why they're kind of like a special occasion type thing. Like, I think over in the States, they're a bit cheaper. You guys don't really get the Cubans so much. You tend to get things like Dominican Republic or Nicaraguan or Honduras ones. But yeah, they're a lot cheaper in the States. But I couldn't afford to kind of like go through multiple cigars. Palmsy saying, let me know, I'll send you some. Do you know what, mate? I might take you on that, because they're a bloody fortune over here. I've bought cigars in Spain on holiday that I've paid about four or 5 quid for each, and then at home they're like 12 quid. The tax is horrendous. Richard says, right, got a bail, definitely time for bed. Take it easy, folks. Thanks for the stream. I'll catch up on what I missed tomorrow. Thank you, Richard. And yeah, if anybody hasn't subscribed, it'd be awesome to join the chat. Join the channel rather. Jim says, I can confirm that you can get lots of Cuban cigars in Florida. Jim says, I like a good cigar, but for some reason they gave me the shits for about 2 days afterwards. Apparently it's a thing. Cigars are weird. They need to go through kind of like an aging thing, because if you smoke them at the wrong time, they taste like vomit. It's really weird. They go through this, all cigars do it. They go through this aging process, and if you get them too early before they've aged properly, they taste like vomit. It's really acrid. It's awful. How are we doing for time and stuff, folks? Let's have a quick look. How long have we been streaming for anyway? I've got no idea. I don't even know if I can tell. Can I? Stream settings, is it on there? Does it even tell me anywhere? No, I don't think it does. Not a worry. Cool. Superpunk says, I might not be a beer drinker, but cheers. You are welcome. Dodlam says, according to YouTube, you're online for 2 hours streaming. Yeah, I had a bit of a nightmare, mate. It crashed. My computer shut down, so I did start a stream originally, and then it crashed. Jason says, it's been a fun stream tonight. Just got a tornado warning in my area. Take care, buddy. Take care. Tony says, I enjoy watching cigars being made by hand in the Dominican Republic. There's definitely an art to it. It's unbelievable. Like, I kind of like to understand about it and stuff. And when you get the different, the fillers and the wrappers and all that kind of stuff. Palmsy said, I can't believe you've got a humidor. That's an eye opener. I'll get you a picture, mate, tomorrow when I'm up and about. It needs re-seasoning, to be fair. So basically, you have to season them so that they stay to the right humidity. And mine's kind of been left for a little bit, to be fair, because it was getting low on cigars. So yeah, I tend to kind of like, because they're expensive, I'll kind of like, I'll treat myself if I get a good deal, or if I'll be on holiday or something, I'll buy a few, and then I'll kind of like store them at home. And like I say, yeah, I probably smoke about, I'd be lucky if I smoked 12 a year. James, I think only the fact that I'm not doing more painting tonight and should clean my brushes. Yeah, that was me. Lord Maiden's back. Welcome back, buddy. James Bray says, own up, have you ever dipped your brush in whiskey by mistake? I don't think I've really ever like drank whiskey while I've been painting. Beer, cans of beer I tend to do. A bottle of lager. Tiberius says, a good cigar and a bad woman. Sounds like a good night out, mate. Right, folks, I think we're coming up to midnight now here. So I am going to call it now. Thank you very much. First of all, thank you everybody who kind of persevered with me tonight and came back to the second stream when the first one went down. So yeah, thanks a lot, folks. Thank you to Joachim and to Matt who donated tonight. Again, just remind you all, for those of you that are not members of the Patreon, please do consider checking it out. And if you're not a subscriber to the channel, I'd love it if you click subscribe. And if you are a subscriber, I'd love it if you click the bell notification. So, take care, folks. And I will see you to chat next Monday on the Monday Night live stream. Thank you very much, folks. Thanks for watching my video. I hope that you really enjoyed it. And if you did, why not consider clicking on the suggested video below to see more of the work that I've done. If you'd like to support the long-term sustainability of this channel, why not consider checking out my Patreon, where you can pledge and support from as little as $2 a month. And there is lots of different tiers and bonuses, which will give you access to a private Discord server. It will give you free t-shirts, free mugs, a podcast every month, and a number of other things, including getting your name at the end of every video, like these awesome folks who already support me now